when you walk through the garden.
What a day. I had a nice tepid Uber driver this morning.
What is tepid?
Meaning just 24 miles an hour. I was out of my mind.
Just a hair under the speed limit. That's where you want to be.
That's where you want to be.
Nice
Better
and
safe than sorry.
That's right.
It's amazing how your body, you can feel your body just wanting to go, will you step on the fucking gas?
You start to feel the tension everywhere.
Holy shit. You feel like, just go. But he's in no rush. He's like looking at something and then the light turns and I want to just go, what the fuck you doing?
It's green.
It's green. But then he looks up, gently ease on the old gas.
But you wonder.
Go.
You know, you have to imagine that person in his life just isn't the get up and go guy. He's going to sit there and wonder why he's not bringing in the money that other people are. You would think that if you're an Uber driver, especially in New York City, especially rush hour in the morning, you want to knock out as many fares as you possibly can. That's where the money is. Because Uber, you don't make extra money from driving slowly, do you?
No, I mean, maybe he has a ticket, or maybe, obviously they're just worried about getting pulled over, or getting a ticket, or maybe there's something
or
where...
just slow.
Or just slow, yeah. Do those guys have are they monitored at all with how fast they're going? Like, I'm sure there's a way to do that.
I'm sure there's definitely a way to do that. I mean, if you get, if you travel 30 miles and the speed limit is 30 miles an hour and you get there in 40 minutes, that's a little mysterious. But I don't think that any Uber driver has ever been arrested for speeding after the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uber will soon warn drivers when they go over the speed limit. Uber.
That's from 2016, so maybe it's already happened. But that's a warning, and I would think it would have to happen way over. I think if you're, what's the speed limit inside the city?
25 in some places. I think it might be a little faster on the West Side Highway.
On the West Side Highway, yeah, it's way.
Is it 50?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would think that Uber is not going to sit there and go, oh, you're going 3 miles over the speed limit. Now you're in trouble. Oh, we're going to send you a warning because you were going 27 in a 25. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, and I've never seen anybody pulled over for speeding except on the West Side Highway or FDR Drive.
And Uber,
I'm sure it happens, but no cop has ever pulled anyone over on like fucking on Madison Avenue or 3rd Avenue or 8th Avenue.
No, the pullovers happen in the speed traps. I've been pulled over. There's areas of the West Side Highway that once it gets past the city and now it's the Henry Hudson, there's areas where the speed limit dips and then picks up again.
Right.
And that's where they get you every single time.
Now this, George Conway, who's Kellyanne Conway's husband.
Isn't it a fascinating thing?
Can you imagine your wife like working for somebody or attacking your boss who's the president? You don't have to like him, but like literally aggressively attacking him. And Trump keeps her on because I guess he really likes her.
Yeah, George Conway. Of course, Kellyanne Conway, everybody knows, is the blonde that parades out in front of the news cameras for Donald Trump all the time and has been. I mean, Kellyanne Conway is one of the few. There's not that many people in the Trump camp that have lasted publicly as long as she has. She was there before most of the people that are kind of front and center for Trump right now. But her husband is outwardly and vocally very anti-Trump.
Yeah, he said he was mentally ill. He really blasts Trump. And Trump usually ignores him because I think out of respect for Kellyanne Conway.
Which is not, he must love Kellyanne Conway.
That's not a him thing.
No, that is not something that he does. He's been bashing dead John McCain every chance he gets lately. John McCain can't fight back. In case you hadn't heard, he's passed away. But he did. He said Trump finally is starting to hit back at Kellyanne Conway's husband.
He should.
Yeah, I mean, you got to tell. I understand. Well, husbands and wives can think differently. You got to.
But they really can. By the way,
of course
anybody out there on your Tinder profile, if you have to put a political ideology, that proves to you that you can be married to somebody who you violently disagree with politics.
Sure, absolutely. But, think about it this way. If Jess were at home and she were publicly saying the things that she says about Jim Norton privately, it would make it very awkward when I came in here to work,
Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, who needs you to say, like, he's so handsome?
That's... What?
She said that about him, handsome, funny.
That's not what...
Talented.
Yeah, stuff...
Gifted.
I mean, other descriptives, too, but stuff like that, yeah. Gifted, sure.
Gifted.
Gifted. What a gifted performer that Jim
guy
Norton
has
is.
gifts.
But can you imagine that if Jess were at home while the show's on, just like tweeting, "Oh my God, how stupid is Jim?" Wow.
It would be crazy.
Yeah.
Anyone could think that.
No, that's not the Jim. You're completely missing the point on every level.
You can't comprehend how your wife wouldn't enjoy my humor.
I think your ego is getting in the way of
ego, easing God out. Go ahead.
Okay, Busey. But I mean, I would come in here going every single morning. I'm sorry, Jim. I don't know. I don't know why she's doing this. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm sorry. I don't feel the same way that she does. I don't know why she's doing this.
I wonder if they had a talk. If she said, "Look, I don't control what he says. What do you want me to do?" And Trump might have said, "I know it's not you. There's nothing you can do."
Yeah. Maybe Trump knows. He's like, "Look, my wife hates me too, so I get where spouses sometimes don't like me." Yeah.
Yeah. What is that like?
And maybe he's suggesting to her, "Look, I got a fake Melania. Maybe you would want to get a fake husband, and it would make it easier for all of us." Yeah, I don't know, because there's got to be. It can't exist in a vacuum. You know, there's got to be pillow talk at the end of the day. You know, she goes home and he's like, "Oh my God. Seriously, the bullshit that he was saying today, I don't want to talk about it, honey. I don't want to talk about it." Yeah, but your boss is just a fucking lunatic.
Does she agree with him on any level? I mean, they are married. Is there any part where she's like, "Oh, I know.
She's got to, right?
Is she the one feeding? They thought she might have been the leak.
But then everybody has said she isn't. I mean, everybody. She said she isn't. Trump said she isn't.
Okay.
You know, Trump doesn't think she's the leak. I don't think. But I don't think I can handle it. You for all the talk that Trump gets about having a fragile ego, I don't think I could handle if somebody was sitting there who is not only working for me, but like one of my number one people who I'm every single day sending out into the media to defend me, knowing that her husband is publicly bashing me every chance that he gets.
That's hard.
That's a tough one.
And I guess he tweeted something about narcissistic personality disorder. And
who, Kellyanne Conway's husband?
Yes, and Trump smashed him, I guess.
It was enough is enough.
And then somebody tweeted, "Great, now you're going to show everybody, millions of people are now going to read what this is."
You mean so for the people?
By Trump retweeting the tweet that had this paper in it that was about narcissistic. George Conway. It was George Conway. He tweeted, "Congratulations, you just guaranteed that millions more people are going to learn about narcissistic personality disorder and malignant narcissism. Great job."
So Brett Parscale, I don't know who that person is, tweeted to Donald Trump, "We all know that @real Donald Trump turned down Mr. Kellyanne Conway for a job he desperately wanted. He barely worked the Justice Department and was either fired or quit. Didn't want this scrutiny. Now he hurts his wife because he is jealous of her success. POTUS doesn't even know him." And then Trump wrote, "A total loser," which I guess is the first shot, finally, after all the shots that Mr. Kellyanne Conway took.
Yeah, and
Trump finally is like, he's a fucking loser. He's a total loser. And that's when George Conway responded the way with what you just read.
Yeah, I kind of hate George Conway.
It's tough to not, whether you agree or disagree.
Your wife isn't. What are you doing?
Come on, man. Your wife is bringing money into the house. Bacon is being put on the table by the Trump White House. You know.
Tom in Boston. I wonder if this is true or not.
What's up, Tom?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Oh, it's true. I mean, you can easily find it. There's plenty of audio and video of her out there trashing Trump.
But why would Trump keep her around?
That I don't know. All I'm saying is that you can look it up yourself.
Is she really good at her job?
I mean, I've never. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
Do your own homework. You'll find it out there. There's plenty of audio and video of her out there being interviewed. And
what is it? Old stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So the point being is that's in all likelihood that those are her real feelings. But she's good at her job. She can sling the bullshit like no other, and the morons just buy into it. But like I said, it's easy enough to find. I'm sure you can find it and play it out there, and just for yourself. I mean, don't take my word for it. Find it and make your own opinion on it.
But
I don't put any stock in that anyway, because all these fucking guys hate each other. All the Republicans bash each other. Dude. He's not qualified. He's a bum. He fucks small dogs. And then the guy wins, and they're like, he's a good guy. I'd love to be his Secretary of Defense.
Yeah. Ted Cruz is supporting a guy who didn't outwardly say, but implied that Cruz's father may have had something to do with the Kennedy assassination. Like, there have been political wars before, but I've never heard anybody saying, I think that your dad probably had something to do with the Kennedy assassination. And then still turning around and going, you know, you got to take him on his record. He's doing great things for the country. What about the billboard of your dad and Fidel Castro?
What are they like at home? What is Trump?
The Kellys?
What the fuck is that home like? Are they going to get divorced over this? Like the type of thing where she's like, you're just not supporting me with what I'm doing. You're a fucking asshole. Or is she glad he's doing it on some level?
She's got, because it really is. And I'm sorry, not the Kellys, the Ann Conways. I would have to, I think it's not supportive. I think if your wife is doing a job, especially if it's as public as Kellyanne Conway, SNL's making fun of her. Everybody knows who Kellyanne Conway is.
You're just embarrassing your wife.
It's embarrassing.
And
it's not
he's
supportive.
just a DC lawyer?
I guess so. He's probably making a bunch of money himself.
I'm sure he is.
Because if Kellyanne Conway is the one who's bringing all the money into that house, I would have to imagine he'd be smart enough to not fuck around, not fuck with the money at the very least. But I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
And it is not. It's regardless of how you feel, it's not supportive.
Why would you do that when your spouse is doing a high-profile job? You don't have to like
television.
Trump. You don't have to publicly support Trump.
You stay away.
Yeah, you can avoid those things. If somebody asks you your opinion, I guess you give it. But to be vocal and to verbally, to aggressively be pursuing the fact that you think he's a dick publicly while your wife is working for him, you're just being, to me, you're being a narcissist too. That's narcissistic.
Absolutely.
You need a little attention for yourself.
Yeah. To not think beyond, okay, isn't there something hypocritical? If Trump is this bad of a guy, then how do you justify the fact that the woman that you've chosen to spend your life with, the woman that you've chosen to make your life partner, has chosen to, in her profession, represent this man? If he's so bad, because on some level, you don't have to agree with everything your spouse does, but on some level, you're co-signing it, right? That money is going into your household. That's your partner. If you're friends with a person, everybody that was friends with Hitler looked really bad coming out of World War II.
That's right.
All of Hitler's friends looked really shitty.
He's a very...
And they were going like this. We were just friends. We didn't even talk politics.
Yeah. We
didn't talk about Germany. We didn't talk about any of that stuff. It was really about the painting. And still, you go, but you knew and you were still buddies. Oh, well, yeah, you're right. So, if you think that Trump is this horrible person, you should have a major problem with your wife spending all her professional time with him.
He's a very, very bright guy, though, this George Conway. He's a Republican before 2018. Now he's an independent. Graduated Harvard College with a magna cum laude in biochemistry. He's obviously a genius.
Jesus Christ.
And Yale Law School. He was the editor of the Yale Law Journal. So the guy's an extremely smart guy.
He's a scientist and a lawyer?
Yeah, he's a genius.
Oh, my God.
The guy's obviously a genius. So... And he argued. Can you go back to the top? He argued in front of the Supreme Court.
Maybe that's what it is. If you have an ego, if you have the ability to be a scientist from Harvard and a lawyer from Yale, your ego is so big that at that point maybe people just can't tell you nothing.
He won a unanimous decision, authored by Antonin Scalia, and he was on the short list of candidates by Trump for United States Solicitor General. And he did not get it. Noel Francisco, as we all know.
Of course. Well, yeah, that's an obvious one.
Solicitor General is Noel Francisco.
Duh.
Yeah, we've discussed this before.
Well, you know what? Maybe all the education in the world can't teach you out of sour grapes.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point.
Maybe he's sitting there, he's so used to winning.
That's right.
And so used to being a Harvard scientist and a Yale lawyer and a super court man all the time, Supreme Court man constantly, that he's not used to hearing people say, nah, I don't think you're the guy.
Yep.
When was the last time you think somebody told, what's his name, George T. Conway III, I don't think you're the guy for the position. No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, as you know, for many, many years, I've been a Noel Francisco guy.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your guy.
I want to know what goes on in this house. Like, I have to know what their fucking interactions are like when your husband is publicly blasting your boss. And I get it, it's the president, and Trump is sticking by her. Is that straining her? Is that going to get her fired eventually? And is she like, I don't care?
She's been there forever. I mean, forever, as much as forever as you can have in this administration. She's the curator of bullshit, I think. is the White House title. I'm not 100% sure what the colloquial title is.
Oh, she's a counselor to the president. Okay.
Yeah. Since 2017, which is 2 years, but that's a long run based on the run that people have had with Trump, aside from her. And if she wasn't fired now, it's not like this Conway husband is just starting this shit talking. He's been shit talking the whole time. It's just that finally President Trump has had enough. Weird things are happening with President Trump, though. Ann Coulter's completely turned on him.
But she's a wall. Ann wants the fucking wall.
Very much so.
I mean, anyone who doesn't like Ann Coulter, she really doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks of her.
No.
How do people not admire, even if you hate her politics, how do you not admire the fact that she doesn't bend?
Yeah.
She's got her opinions. The president unfollowed her and she didn't give a fuck.
And he didn't follow that many people.
He followed 45.
Yeah, I mean, Ann Coulter, especially somebody who makes their money on that right-wing base.
That's right.
She is this person. She's one of the people that was heavily going, Trump is the guy. For her to not worry about isolating herself from her base and just saying, no, here's the reality. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say this. Nobody else in that camp, all the people that have decided that they're Trumpsters, they're sticking by it regardless of what happens. Ann Coulter is like the one that is saying it would make me a hypocrite to not say that Trump is full of shit at this point.
Yeah, because she called him a con art. Like, she just really turned on him.
Mm-hmm.
And she had written a book. Like, didn't she love him at one point? She
wrote
loved
a book
him.
about her. Remember, she came and did the night show promoting a book while the election was happening. She was writing so furiously. The book she started and finished it and published it before the election was even over. She had her book out.
In Trump We Trust.
Called In Trump We Trust.
I really admire her because of her ability to never stop writing. She's a fucking animal. All she does is do columns and write books. Like, whatever motivates her to work, like whatever that thing is, like Stephen King can do. He can just sit down and make himself write. That's really fucking hard to do.
Yeah. And that's the best part about this. She's the word is prolific.
Completely.
That it doesn't matter. Like that book now, In Trump We Trust, obviously that one's going in the garbage, but she's got so much material.
She'll do another one.
It's fine. She could throw 5 of her books in the garbage. That one doesn't count anymore. Doesn't matter. She's still got a whole library.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
He called her a wacky nut job.
He did call her a wacky nut job.
And that's not even that bad of a slam from him.
Plus, she loves it. She knows it's good for business.
You think so?
Of course. You got the president calling you a wacky nut job and you're Ann Coulter. Yeah, it's good for business. Ann Coulter has never worried about the fact that there are people out there that say nasty things about her.
She doesn't give a fuck.
I told her when she was in here the last time that I saw her. This is back before people were even called snowflakes. Twitter wasn't even around. This is probably 2003. I saw her speak at Syracuse. And this was when alt-right or conservative or whatever speakers were allowed to actually speak in colleges. This is before protests and firebombs were happening.
Yeah.
And she spoke at Syracuse, and I just went to see her. And I was like, this is interesting. And there's some girl in the back who just shouts out, Nazi! And marches out. And Ann Coulter just kind of gives her a chuckle and just keeps right on going with her speech.
Was her speech good?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember it, but I remember leaving.
You don't, Lib. Let him in. Let him in, Sammy. Of course you did. You're probably there to protest.
I was.
Would she make fun of your sign?
That was me yelling Nazi. But I just remember, that's the part that I remember, that she was so unfazed.
She's unfazed.
And then in the same year, I went and saw Al Sharpton speak at Syracuse. And somebody asked him about, why he doesn't, at that time, why he wasn't fighting as hard for gay rights as he was for the rights of African Americans or whatever, however you phrased the question. And his answer was some kind of, gay people have a choice of how they want to live their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you just say being gay is a choice? And it's just like, move on to the next thing. It never picked up.
Did people boo him at the college?
No.
Not figures.
No, they liked
surprised
it. They liked it. They liked the rev.
Yeah.
They liked the good rev. Yeah, they didn't mind that.
You don't choose to be black. Good point.
Right. And they were like, well, I guess if Reverend Al says it,
it must be true.
Watch Ann Coulter try to get away with a statement like that.
I just love the fact that she doesn't back off. You don't have to. I don't agree with a lot of what she says.
No, that's not what it's about.
She's way more conservative, way more. But who cares?
Isn't it annoying that you sit here and us having this conversation right now, speaking positively, just calling Ann Coulter prolific.
I fucking love her.
Doesn't mean you agree with everything she's ever written, does it?
No, it doesn't.
But people are going to turn that around and, I don't know what kind of cuck that makes you. A Coulter cuck?
Probably.
I guess so.
Sure.
Jim is a cult. Would you consider yourself a Coulter cuck?
Yes, I would.
And now I guess Joe Biden is going out to his supporters and saying that he'll probably every other day there's a story about how Joe Biden is either quote unquote accidentally or very close to announcing that he's running for president. Everything except
I'm a little tired of Joe Biden.
You are
77.
Enough
or
is
76.
enough.
Bernie's. Can we fucking stop? I mean, at least was it Beto O'Rourke?
Beto,
whatever his name is.
I believe it's pronounced Beto.
B-O-R.
Mm-hmm.
At least he's in his 40s.
He is.
I believe it's Beta O'Dork.
I believe it's Beta O'Dork. I think that was the one, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
When you walk through the garden.
That's right.
Good. That's
Now I remember.
All right, good. Awesome. Thank you, Rob.
Although, according to Rob, Beto is 30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 30. Yep. Hot Dog, by the way, is so tired of Rob's anti-Beto rhetoric. He was texting.
Well, Hot Dog's a little lib.
A little bit, just slightly. He's slightly left of center. Yeah. But he was in a group text just completely slamming Rob for all the Beto stuff. And then he sent an email, a show prep email, to Rob and Travis. And it was a list of negative stories about Trump. And he goes, here's your show prep, Rob. He's sick. It kind of makes me want to have a debate and see who's got a stronger case. Have Hot Dog versus Rob debating. We'll call it a debato.
Ooh, I hate it and love it at the same time.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the great debato?
Yeah.
You think we should have the
hate it and love it at the same time? It's like a finger in my rectum.
That's what I want it to be. The great debato? I know that yesterday Rob sent out this article to everybody, making sure that everybody knew that, according to Breitbart, Beto O'Rourke ate dirt with fabled regenerative powers after losing to Ted Cruz.
That was Travis.
I believe he got it from you.
That's not true.
Do you believe in that? Do you believe the story?
I did. He texted it to me, and I was like, all right, I'll include it in my email.
Let me ask you this, Travis. Do you think that Beto thinks that he ate magic dirt so he could run for president?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Rob
Rob told me.
Without a sarcastic slant in your voice, because I'm starting to pick one up in Travis's.
Yeah.
Do you think that probably he ate regenerative dirt so he could run for president?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I'm not sensing as much sarcasm.
They asked him why he did it, and he said,
when you walk through the garden. Not even
it makes
any sense
yes,
anymore.
it is. There's dirt in the garden.
Okay.
I got it.
All right.
It made total sense to me.
You win that one.
it's my favorite song ever. I wish there were more.
What do you mean, this one?
When you walk through the garden.
Wait.
A rare time you have both iPads with the same sound effect.
And Travis is all like,
quit playing.
I like dicks.
When you walk through the garden.
All right.
Just good times.
Makes me so happy.
So yeah, Breitbart's reporting that Beto ate regenerative dirt, so that's why it's not going to affect him as much. You know, he lost the local election in Texas to Ted Cruz, but he ate the magic dirt, so it may actually help him. He thinks Breitbart is reporting that he thinks that it may actually help him win the presidency. I believe. It says O'Rourke, a new report on 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke's marriage to real estate heiress Amy Sanders O'Rourke reveals the former Texas congressman indulged in some bizarre cuisine following his failed U.S. Senate bid in Texas. He might have actually eaten the dirt. Sometimes, you know,
you do weird shit,
especially if your wife wants you to. But it is being framed to say that because they're associating it with his loss to Ted Cruz, they really are making it seem like he thinks that eating the magic dirt is going to make it so he doesn't lose elections
Where's the magic
anymore.
dirt?
I think it's in. I would imagine it's in Texas. He's a Texas guy.
Now, what is the how much?
Rob quickly told me it's in New Mexico.
How much?
That's so weird because Rob didn't see the story at all. I thought that was Travis's story.
How much dirt do you have to eat?
I think it depends on how much you want to regenerate.
Okay.
Like how much powers do you want? If you just need a little bit of the magic powers, you just need a little bit of dirt.
I want to eat some of that dirt.
Why?
Just for good luck.
Oh, I see. Okay. I think
we can go get you some dirt.
Yeah,
some dirts. You gonna go get me some dirts?
Yeah, you know where Travis is gonna get it?
When you walk through the garden. Give me some dirts. Fucking
So tired this week.
you pluralizing stupid asses.
Maybe it'll give people confidence in Beto.
I don't like
Well,
his teeth. He has a kind of a. There's something about him that's Kennedy-ish. Maybe it's his hairdo, or is he the young look? But his smile bugs me.
I see the
He's
Kennedy
a dumb
thing.
smile.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his jawline. I don't know.
No,
what it is.
his mouth looks like when Conan would make fun of when he would actually put the moving mouth behind a photo. That's what his mouth looks like.
Like his teeth don't quite fit his mouth.
Yeah, it's giant. He's got the teeth and mouth of an 11-foot tall man.
Right. His lips aren't. You cannot cover it.
No.
You have to stretch him down.
But he's got a Jack Kennedy vibe in his photos. A little bit of the hair tuft.
Yeah, he does. And you know who won the election, Rob? That was JFK.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But I mean, the guy lost to Ted Cruz. Like, how is he going to win the
In
president?
Texas.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
he won't win Texas.
He's not going to win. He's not going to win the election in Texas.
Did he do well against Ted Cruz or no?
I think it was pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Right.
sure it was pretty close, but
And he didn't really have. Texas is not a swing state, so if he's running for president, plus he doesn't have to worry about the ferocious opponent that is Ted Cruz. You know, as he's known in some circles, Lion Ted.
Yep.
He didn't have to worry about that anymore.
What did he change it to? Fantastic Ted? Wait, what did they say? Trump fails at insulting Beto O'Rourke.
No,
Did he?
it says Trump fails spectacularly at insulting Beto O'Rourke. This was reported on by Now This, which I think is probably fake news based on the headline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Movement. I've never seen so much. I think he's got a lot of hand movement. I've never seen so much hand movement. I said, is he crazy or is that just the way he acts?
Oh, I see.
Okay,
So they're
that's Trump's
saying
hand movement. Okay.
right. So Now This is saying that he insults Beto O'Rourke's hand movement, but who moves their hands more than this Trump guy, huh?
Is Sassy Trump still posting stuff?
Who's Sassy Trump? Did we-
I don't know. Come on.
I don't know if we've
Can you look up Sassy Trump?
if we've talked about
It's
it
my
on
favorite
Twitter.
thing.
Sassy
I
Trump
haven't
on
seen it.
Twitter.
I don't know if he's on Twitter or YouTube. No, just YouTube, I think.
Oh,
There's a new Sassy Trump.
let's see. Sassy Trump versus Jim Acosta.
The guy goes in and dubs his voice over Trump's.
Okay.
Challenge you on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign in the midterms.
Here we go.
Well,
Let's go. Come on.
that this caravan was an invasion, as you.
I consider it to be an invasion.
It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
Demonized immigrants.
Not at all. No, not at all. I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process. And I want people to come in, and we need the people.
So they don't change his words at all.
No, not he does it perfectly, but he just does it with a gay inflection.
It's kind of
Sassy Trump.
It's kind of a visual gag, but you get it because he's not changing the words.
It's exactly as Trump's mouth is moving.
And just as he's like going, just say, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's got some that are very over the top, but he's very funny.
That's great. I love it. That's genius. I love that we live in a world where people can get that kind of creativity out there. That
I do too.
The internet has opened it up.
You wonder if Trump would hate that?
I don't think he'd like it.
Because the guy's not changing.
No, but I don't think he'd like it because part of me thinks that sassy Trump guy doesn't take regular Trump all that seriously. And I think Trump wants to be taken seriously.
That's true.
I don't think he would enjoy sassy Trump too much at all, to tell you the truth.
No, you might be right.
I don't think so.
You might be right. His name is Pete Serafinowicz, I think.
So while Trump has to deal with Kellyanne Conway and all this stuff, and her husband, the Jeff Bezos drama,
it's crazy,
is also just continuing on and on. So you remember we found out, I don't know, a month or two ago at this point, I think about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks, that Jeff Bezos was having an affair. Jeff Bezos of Amazon fame was having an affair. He was cheating on his wife with this Lauren Sanchez.
Was he cheating or were they separated? They might have been separated.
It seemed like his wife was not aware of the relationship. So who knows? But yeah, I don't know. They could have been separated. I don't know. But his wife was not aware of the relationship, and it was a humiliating thing.
Yep.
And then word got out that there were texts, and some of the texts were published. And then word got out that there were more texts that were not published, including Jeff Bezos' dick pics, which you would think, if anybody understands data farming and the fact that everything that you post on the internet is being saved by some big company, it would be the guy who's doing it over at Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, you would think that if he's got his phone, whatever it is, if it's an iPhone or whatever, it looks like an iPhone, you would think that he would know, if I'm saving all the Amazon data and all the Alexa data and all that, you have to imagine that somewhere Apple has access to all this data and it gets out there. But I don't know, when you get all horned up, maybe you're just not thinking clearly.
And
sometimes the stuff in your balls goes up to your brain and really affects things.
Yeah, and this girl's piece of shit brother. If you do that to your sister, you're a piece of shit for $200,000.
Well, that's what happened. They're saying that the National Enquirer got a hold of these text messages. They were the one, and apparently they got them from Lauren Sanchez's brother. And word is that they paid him $200,000 for it.
It's disgusting.
You would think it would be more valuable to have Jeff Bezos, the I guess richest guy in the world at the time. You'd think it'd be more valuable to have the richest guy in the world as a potential brother-in-law than it would be to get $200,000.
It's crazy
for leaking texts.
Fucking crazy.
But now he's saying he's got an excuse now. Do you read this?
Yeah. What did he say?
The brother is saying that the reason he leaked the text was to protect his sister.
Yeah. Because he wanted them to get ahead of the story.
Yeah. It said Michael Sanchez, the brother of Jeff Bezos' lover, confirmed that he made a deal with the devil. See, National Enquirer, they're the bad guys, not Michael Sanchez. It's just the National Enquirer.
Yeah.
And helped the National Enquirer break the sensational story of Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's extramarital affair. But Michael insisted that he did it to benevolently protect Lauren and the world's richest man. He was also protecting Jeff Bezos by ensuring the news of their romance broke only after their mutual spouses were told. That's nice.
What?
That's nice. But now it's unclear whether the couple at the center of the scandal is even together anymore.
Yeah, that probably fucked up the relationship because Bezos, he's got Gavin DeBecker, who's a security guy, who's the guy who wrote that amazing book, The Gift of Fear.
Yes.
And that's his guy.
Yes, we talked about that a bunch. Yeah.
It's an amazing book. And he's investigating for him. And then the Enquirer panicked, of course. They're like, stop the investigation or we're going to publish your dick photos. Basically, they said something, or I'm paraphrasing. And he fucking stood up and he goes, all right, go ahead. I don't want that. It's embarrassing, but let's roll this log over and see what comes out. So he basically called their bluff and said, go ahead, put my dick pictures out there.
Because we're not stopping any investigation.
Stopping. And they blinked.
Yeah.
They know that if they do that, they don't have anything else. And then I guess he's not afraid of his dick being out there. It's just a dick.
And that's
good for him, man.
That's when also you know that's the Enquirer's last card. You know, that's the end. They don't have anything after the dick pics because otherwise they would have published them knowing we can hit you even harder, but they don't have anything.
And maybe
else.
they can't publish. Like maybe there's no real redeeming value to it.
News value, you mean? Yeah.
Is it revenge porn? It might be considered revenge porn.
Could be. And if anybody would know that, it's Jeff Bezos and his investigators.
Yeah, good for. I love the fact that Bezos handled it that way, though.
Yeah,
I love it.
Look, nothing will take the fun out of a fling of a relationship faster than the entire world finding out and the National Enquirer writing about it, and now wives and ex-husbands are involved in the whole thing. They really took the fun out of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's relationship. And so I wouldn't be shocked if that they were like, you know what, let's just end this.
And he probably wants to make sure she didn't sell him out.
Yeah.
He's probably done, before he sees her.
Let's end on good terms.
Let's just see. Did you sell me out for money? If her brother got a hold of it, like if her brother got a hold of her phone, but then again, he probably doesn't want to have her piece of shit brother in his life.
Right.
What a fucking creep.
He wants to be done with the whole thing. And it's not, do you think Jeff Bezos is going to have trouble finding another girlfriend?
I hope, fucking probably after this.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
I hope that he loses his sister, a relationship with his sister for the rest of his life.
He should.
You cost me a relationship with the richest guy on earth, you fuck.
And by the way, probably fucked up her first marriage.
Oh, totally. They said her husband was blindsided.
Right. So fucked up her marriage and then also fucked up the relationship with the world's richest man. Cool. Enjoy your $200,000.
What does this jealous guy look like?
The brother?
Yeah, I want to see what he looks like.
He is jealous, isn't he?
He's jealous.
Who do you think you are, fucking my sister?
Or just like, hey, man, she's got this amazing thing with this guy, and I have no money. And maybe Bezos won't take care of him.
Well, now he certainly won't.
And we need the brother.
Lawrence Sanchez's brother. Yeah. Yeah. You know, there is a weird jealousy in there. Just don't get involved. Hey, when you're an adult, why are you getting involved in your sister's relationship?
What the fuck? Mind your fucking business.
Mind your business.
Mind your fucking business.
Who cares? You're adults now. You're really getting involved in who she's
45 or whatever she is. Mind your fucking business.
Yeah. But he can't. He doesn't have those thrills in his life.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oof. And her husband, poor husband, was just blindsided.
Do you think she'll have trouble finding a boyfriend?
Well, unless her husband stays with her.
He probably would at this point. I mean, she's smoking hot.
Yeah. How do you forget that, though? Is that Jeff and her?
That's Jeff. That's Jeff Bezos. That hot piece of ass.
How the fuck do you stay with your wife if everyone knows she was banging? Every time a package comes, you're gonna think your wife getting fucked.
Oh yeah, you look at the doorstep. You look at
ding dong whore.
You see that Amazon box? He writes his company's name
everywhere,
outside of every single box. You're driving down the street. It's recycling day. People put their paper out on the side of the road. What do you see everywhere?
The Amazon box.
Oh, everybody gets
You can't even look at a river without thinking of your wife taking loads.
That's right.
God damn it. Frustrating.
He's sitting there. His wife is like, oh, we just need some new laundry detergent. A box what is this, a gift? What, is he sending you gifts now? No, I ordered it. I promise. I swear I ordered it. Oh, he's sending you gifts? Yeah, it'd be tough to get over it.
Yeah.
I think when an affair is that public with a person that public, you kind of got to cut bait.
Yeah.
Just move on. You know, what can you do? It's never gonna go out of our heads, right? Every time we see Lauren Sanchez,
you're married at that point. Like, you're married with a kid or whatever. It's like, you can't, there's no way to look past it.
We've never heard of Lauren Sanchez. I've never heard of Lauren Sanchez before.
No.
Every time I see her going forward, it's going to be, oh, that's that girl that fucked Jeff Bezos. Can you imagine if it's your wife?
Yeah, I find her brother to be despicable.
Horrible.
To betray her that way and then try to paint it. Well, no, I was trying to
save her. She needed saving, and I was trying to save Jeff, too.
Eric in Georgia? I don't agree.
I love Jeff and my sister. What's going on? Eric in Georgia.
You got to agree with me. Hear me out. Hear me out for a second.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Bezos is the smartest guy around. He knows what's going on. He's had DeBecker in his corner for 20 years.
True.
Okay? How can you break this story about them both cheating on their spouses and have Bezos come out the good guy? Let's go ahead and make them the victim. The brother's been involved in doing her career for 20 years. He knows the ramifications. And they tried to sneak around doing the whole little, I'm going to load you up in a boxcar to take you to certain houses so no one sees you. All right, how can we get in front of this story? Let's leak it, expose it, and turn them into the victim. And they're all in on it.
But you know what? The National Enquirer would have to be in on it too, and I don't think they are, because otherwise, the brother gave the National Enquirer dick pics of Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is not in on it.
He said he didn't. He said he didn't give them.
So how'd they get them?
He said he didn't, but
they may have hacked the cloud.
Right. He's had a career. No.
They didn't hack any cloud.
I don't know.
He didn't hack a cloud.
Nobody hacks the cloud.
Got him from the sister. He got him from his sister to leak them to the Enquirer because he already had a relationship with the Enquirer.
Jeff Bezos is in on it?
The Enquirer.
No.
Yes.
He's not giving his dick pics to anybody.
Dude, he's the richest guy in the world. They could have just got ahead of the story. This is extremely embarrassing. They almost published his dick. He's got kids. He's the richest guy in the world. He's having an affair, and he wants his dick pictures published in the Enquirer.
Dick pics is.
I mean, come on. The whole thing is.
Is he a bad guy now?
No, but the bad guy
as a bad guy now.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, doesn't matter.
Bezos is a bad guy.
It doesn't matter. He could have just left his wife. It's embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
There is a dick pic sized hole in your theory.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but no, this girl's not involved with it. The brother's not being a good guy. They're not getting ahead of it because they would have come out and just made a statement.
I think the brother's just trying to get himself $200 grand.
Of course he is. They would have just made a statement. The brother probably doesn't like Trump, and I mean, so he's a Trump supporter who doesn't like Bezos.
Doesn't like the Amazon Washington Post.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I just don't agree.
Got it, man.
I appreciate the theory, though.
All right,
Thank you, Eric.
He sounds like the Eric from 90 Day Fiancé.
Maybe that's him.
We got to get ahead of it. I said this, it's going to take time. Lita, it's going to take time.
That guy probably would make that lousy deal of $200,000. Dude, if you're giving Jeff Bezos text to the National Enquirer.
Yeah, how about $1 billion?
Yeah, 200,000. What was that, the first offer, and he took it?
Ruined his sister's life like that.
Can you imagine how happy the National Enquirer was when he actually accepted 200 grand? Really?
Yeah,
Accepted the first offer?
Valerie has a good point.
Well, I'm going to go to Kyle first.
Valerie has a really good point.
Valerie will knock us completely off course.
No, she has a good point.
Look, I'm not going to not go to Valerie, I promise.
Hang on, Valerie. You have a great point. Kyle,
what's going on?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. Okay, so the weird thing is that nobody's mentioned yet is if this dude had pictures of Bezos' dick, he also has pictures of his nude sister. It's even more fucked, honestly.
Oh, you think he's got titty shots of his sister?
I mean, he had, like, the whole conversation. You know that they were swapping photos back and forth. Like, he didn't just send his dick for no reason.
And Jeff Bezos,
that kind of guy.
He did not get to be the world's richest billionaire by sending dick pics out when he's not getting some vaginal shots in return.
Absolutely.
He's getting, yeah, you're right. You're right. The brother does have naked pictures of his sister. That's disgusting.
But the fact that they published the private text between these two, it's just gross. It's fucking gross.
How's it even?
It's not news.
It's not newsworthy. You could announce maybe an affair is newsworthy. Maybe just because Jeff Bezos is
the richest man in the world.
Right,
yeah.
He's such a public figure.
It's a thing that happened.
Right. But to know the dirty details of every little text message, that's not newsworthy.
No.
That's gossip. That's water cooler chit chat. Look at that. She's just holding her tits.
Hey, what about Valerie in Orlando? Sure, it's a good point.
All right.
What are you doing?
Hey, Val.
Hi.
Hey, Valerie.
I just wanted to say, Jim, you looked really good in Orlando. You looked better than I've ever seen you look.
Oh, well, thank you. I didn't know that's what you were going to say. I thought you were going to make a point about Bezos.
It says right there on the phone screen, Jim looked really good in Orlando. But by the way, Jim looking better than he's ever looked is not the greatest compliment in the world.
Sure is.
No, he looked in shape. He looked well rested, and he was in good spirits too.
Thank you very much. I was. Now, did you enjoy the show?
Yeah, we did the meet and greet, and it was hilarious as always.
Well, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you complimenting my physique as well.
Are you married, Valerie?
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband was there too.
That's okay.
You knew she was married?
Of course.
Yeah.
She's a woman who enjoyed my show.
We were the good-looking couple, like right in the front.
Yeah, but Valerie, I mean, I think that, you call up the show and you kick that game a little bit.
What show were you at?
We were at Orlando 9:45.
On Saturday.
That
was a great show.
But you call up and you talk about Jim, you look good. Like why are you wasting everybody's time? And you go like, I'm happily married. Are you and your husband swingers? Like, can you bet? No.
No, I appreciate the compliment.
He did like the opener though, because she was giving him a lot of attention.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, it's not fair. Come on,
it's not right. It's not what you're doing isn't right. For Jim's being nice, but for a married woman to call up and say, "Oh, Jim, you look good. By the way, I'm in a committed relationship with my husband. There's no chance of this happening." It's like, well, what's he going to do with that information?
Exactly.
It's an authentic compliment.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but what's he going to do with it? I mean, what difference does it make?
I'm going to put it right in my little pocket.
I mean, Jim's in the space right now where he goes on Tinder dates, and the girl that he just went on a Tinder date with thought it would be funny to bring another Tinder date. You know what I mean? Like, just do.
That was quite a while ago. Did I tell you I went on a date and got?
Thank you, Valerie.
And in the middle of dinner,
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Did I tell you this? In the middle of dinner, the girl says to me, "So this is platonic, right? We're just going to be friends."
Oh my God!
Come on.
No, that couldn't have happened.
Jim.
Yep.
This is why people like Valerie do no help to anybody.
No.
You know? That doesn't do anything, because then when it really comes time for put up or shut up, you get Miss Platonic. So how does this happen? You're at a nice dinner. Did you meet on Tinder or one of these apps?
On one of those apps, yes.
Right. So you meet on an app. They actually...
We went out over the summer.
You've complained before about your lack of swipes.
We went out over this summer, and I kind of blew it.
You did.
I you know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't really follow up that much because I was traveling a little bit, and I was dating different people, and I just didn't.
You're a busy
and she
guy,
was busy,
but
yeah.
you know what? That can be attractive sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, we met up.
Yeah.
And we went out.
Well, how did you re-meet? Did you text her? Did she text you?
I think I thought of her and just sent her a text and said, "Hey," or she might have texted. Oh, she texted me because she was at me at the Comedy Cellar.
Oh.
She go, "You at the Comedy Cellar?" I'm like, "Oh my God, this girl." So She was with her friends or whatever.
That's nice. A little credibility for yourself.
Sure.
That's nice.
And I'm like, hey, let's get together and eat. And she's like, okay. So we did the next night.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Jim Norton is a man of action.
Yeah, and Jim Norton doesn't like to fuck around and play games.
No. And you go to a decent restaurant. I know you like to eat nice food.
Yep.
You know, not any shitty
Yeah, she thought the
establishment.
restaurant was a little stuffy. But it was just a steak place I had never been to.
What do you mean stuffy?
That's what she said.
She said this place is stuffy?
Yeah.
What's our problem?
I know. What do you want? Where do you want to go for dinner?
Your first dinner together. Stuffy?
She got a free dinner.
We had a nice time talking, and in the middle of it, I guess she didn't know how old I was, but I don't lie about my age. I told him 50. She goes, oh. So I guess that bothered her, which was okay. She was like 28. Not for her. She wants someone more closer to her age. I don't care about that. We'll finish dinner.
But at 28, maybe learn a little manners. No?
But I mean, I didn't even take it as rude. I didn't care. But then she's like, this is just platonic, right?
Oh. That's a terrible thing to say.
Bummer, bro.
Yeah.
That's a horrible thing. Platonic.
There's more to it. I'll tell you more.
You don't want to say it on the air, though?
I'll say it on the air when we come back. I want to
Okay.
break and eat.
All right, let's take a real quick.
Matteo Lane is coming in.
Before we go to break, we should go to one call. Brian in Philly.
Hey, Sam, I just
when you walk through the garden.
I mean, that one
really
didn't even...
good, full, good lines. Love it.
He's talking about my beard. I appreciate that very much, Brian.
You got it.
By the way, you see, I hope that the young lady that called up and complimented Jim Norton understands that Brian in Philly complimenting me on my beard, it's not any worse than some chick calling up and saying, Jim, you look really good. By the way, I'm married and love my husband.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's true.
It's the same thing.
I'm going to San Francisco, April 4, 5, 6. Comedy on the Carlson in May in Rochester. Stress Factory. Like the next to the last weekend, Memorial Day weekend. 4 nights. Finally back at the Stress Factory.
We got a busy show today. We have Sean Evans from Hot Ones coming in. But first, Matteo Lane is popping in, and he'll be here right after this. Stay tuned. What is this, a guitar?
This is a... By the way, I was very
got it.
Thanks.
very negligent yesterday.
I know.
Very negligent.
Oh, about something specific?
Yeah.
Oh, what was it?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. March 19th, 1982.
The Ides of March.
Randy Rhoads was killed in a plane crash. I guess it was 37 years ago yesterday. And I thought of it and just didn't mention it like a stupid asshole.
Well, I mean, it's okay. You
No,
mentioned
I know.
it today. You came back.
But I did Instagram a photo of a great gift Jim Florentine gave me.
I saw that, the poster.
Yeah.
That is a great gift. Is Matteo coming in?
Yeah, you want him in?
Yeah. What's the holdup? Our friend Matteo Lane is here. You can follow him on Twitter
There
at
he is.
Matteo Lane. He's going to be at
Hi,
the
Matteo.
Lincoln
How are you?
Lodge in Chicago on Friday and Saturday.
In Albany in April. Albany, New York.
April 5th through 7th.
Albany? No, that's a pretty
In
good little
Albany.
room.
I know, but I feel like there's going to be like 2 gays, and then it'll just be a weekend of hate crime. So,
Do you think that's a fun town?
no, but I mean, I've only just been to the mall, so it's not fair for me to like judge the town. I'll be in Chicago this weekend. All my shows sold out, but Friday late.
Oh, that's great.
Saturday late show. So we get to hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Okay, not bad. How are you?
Good. I'm such a promotional. I'm like,
No, that's
I'm like,
okay.
say Albany. I'll be in Albany, New York.
Well, yeah, because Chicago's almost sold out. So let's sell the Albany tickets,
Let's do
right?
it.
Where
Yeah.
in Chicago are you working?
The Lincoln Lodge. Bert won't book me at Zany's because he got into a fight with my agent years ago. So now he won't book me.
What was the fight about?
About you?
I guess we agreed to another spot. Like he was making an offer, but then we agreed to someone who sent us an offer, and so now he's like, he'll never work here again. I'm like, fine, sorry, fine. My face won't be on your shit wall.
So you're upset that, do you want to work Zany's?
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm jealous.
Right, you're upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm insecure.
I get it.
Which
so
one-
you're lashing out.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
But Lincoln Lodge is great. And seats almost the same amount of people.
Zany's downtown. There's a Zany's downtown, which was a really good room.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's a nice room. But they also had one in. They had 2 on the like
one in Rosemont.
Rosemont.
Yeah.
I don't remember where the other one was. There was one that was
It's
like
by
a
O'Hare.
a ski lodge. It was actually a really good gig.
Oh.
And there was one that was in a club, but I think that they moved it. I don't know. I've lost touch. But
when was the last time you were in Chicago?
For Zanies, it's been a while. I think I
Yeah.
did a theater last time I was there. It was.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Whoa, excuse me.
No big deal.
Yeah,
No,
really.
it wasn't.
I opened for Aziz last week there, or 2 weeks ago at the Chicago Theater.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun. It was, I mean, it was exciting for me. But
I give Aziz credit because fucking Matteo kills. So he must be, he's putting a killer act on in front of him.
Right.
well,
Right.
Aziz kills.
Yeah, he does.
But that's very nice of you to say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jim doesn't want to put you on as his opener because it's like, come on, we need to lower.
He's
the
a headliner
bar
anyway, but I wouldn't want to go after Matteo. On the
Plus,
road.
we have the same act, so
We do. He steps on all my songs.
yeah, you're doing all those whistle tones and Mariah Carey high notes. It's like, well,
And Barbara Corcoran. He started doing Barbara Corcoran recently.
No, I've been doing it. Remember from years ago?
Oh, actually, I forgot. Yeah.
By the way, someone sent me a clip of Barbara. She was explaining a restaurant. She was literally on there. She's like, the best part about it is that when you go back to eat, it's always in the same place. I was like, that's what a restaurant is, Barbara.
Right. Was she trying to talk about why restaurants are better than food trucks?
Well, yeah, I think
Was
she
that
took a food truck and made it a restaurant. And so all she had
Cousin's Lobster?
Yes, it was
of
Cousin's
course.
Lobster.
It's the only business she's ever invested in on Shark Tank.
Did it succeed?
It is successful, but apparently she's still got no money because she never invests in
It's
anything.
a
on that
lobster
show.
truck?
It is. It's a lobster.
It's a lobster truck. But then she was explaining instead of saying like, we have a location and it's going to be great. She was just like air, whenever you need it, you just breathe in. It's like, come on. Here we go. Join the family.
Yeah.
Cousin Maine Lobster. It's a restaurant, and when you sit down, they give you food on a plate.
So wait a minute. It's a building now? It's not a truck?
It's both. They have food trucks everywhere, but I think they just opened a restaurant, and Barbara was marveling at the fact that there's no wheels on
Are
it.
they good? I would never want to eat lobster out of a fucking truck.
Well, Barbara has a lot of faith in it.
Barbara, lobster. I'm allergic to seafood, but also lobster would just be. Nothing about it seems appealing to me at all. The cracking, the smell, the kill. I mean, everything about it seems insufferable. And
I
then
don't like that they burn it. They kill it alive. Like they throw it in there in boiling water. What a shit way to go.
I think about that. Like when
Fucking assholes.
When I'm at the supermarket with my son and we walk by the lobsters in the water, I'm like, oh, say hi to the lobsters. And he goes, hi, lobsters. And everything's like,
Now
oh, it's
murder
animals.
them.
And I don't think to myself, at some point, I'm going to have to explain to him that they're just there until they get boiled alive.
Yeah, their hands are fucking clawed shut.
They are.
With
They're
rubber
like
bands,
rubber
like
banded
dicks.
shut.
What dicks they must feel like. And then they parade you around the restaurant, and then they literally just put you in boiling water. It's
Right.
fucking horrible.
They're sitting there going, don't worry, I have a great natural defense. No, you don't,
Yeah.
rubber band.
Yeah, all they can do is swim backwards, and they're defenseless.
That's
I mean,
it.
we're strapping them down, we're emasculating them, and then we burn them alive.
It's
Like,
humiliating.
oh my God!
Just imagine
the
if
indignity.
there were giants that were around that put rubber bands over your fingers and then just waited until they were ready and then just threw you into boiling water until you died.
That's
then
what bothers me.
And the way we eat them is wild too. We're snapping them in
Yeah, of
half and
course.
spitting out this part and throwing the shell, and it's like, God, we're awful. We're just terrible.
I
Terrible
can't
people.
enjoy shrimp anymore because
Really?
because that little fucking thing, that little brown trail that
Yup.
is shrimp shit,
Yup.
it just drives me nuts.
Barbara said once, she goes, I don't like shrimp, so for that reason, I'm out.
Any excuse she could find.
What is that, a bowl of mayonnaise? Yeah, lobster is just disgusting.
Do you watch just Shark Tank or do you watch Marcus and the Prophet too on CNBC?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
So there's this great show called The Prophet.
Is mine?
It comes on whatever night that on CNBC that Shark Tank isn't on. The Prophet is on, and this guy Marcus goes in and he puts money into people's businesses and then he changes them. It's like Bar Rescue except for people's businesses. But I came to this amazing realization. He was doing one with this company, and he brought this company to his corporate headquarters or whatever. And he was like, "You're going to work with some of the people that I work with, so that we can bring you up to speed." And every business that he's ever invested in, the owners, quote unquote, that were on the show before, they all come out of different offices in his building. And I'm like, Marcus, just he just owns all the people now.
Yeah.
They just all live in his building now. Everything is just his.
I drew a picture of Shark Tank yesterday. I tweeted it. I drew the whole cast, and then CNBC followed me. And then they were like, "We love it." And I was like, "Oh, I kind of made Barbara look not good." Because oh god, you could have told me you were taking a picture. I look horrible.
It's a candid.
Great. There's me at the Lincoln Lodge. There they are.
Oh, look at you. You're a great artist.
I did the whole... Yeah, I used to be a professional illustrator for years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I illustrated TV commercials and fashion ads. That's what brought me to New York.
Oh.
You know, a lot of comedians, they just tell jokes, and that's where the talent ends. You're in shape, you can draw, you can sing,
well,
and you decide to do
on
comedy.
Instagram, and I'm getting backlash from people for it, so I keep trying. Because straight people are mad I talk too much about being gay, and gays are mad I'm not Kathy Griffin. So, I have to showcase that I'm more than just a butt.
Yeah, but look. If any of the people that are complaining...
See, it's half my drawings, half my...
Wait, Matteo, you're in your underpants in that.
Yeah, I'm on a cruise. I'm in a Speedo, ready to go out. I was on the Impractical Jokers cruise. So for me walking around like that, I was marching for gay rights.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something.
Your hiney is showing in this photo.
It does.
I like that picture, though.
It does make it difficult when... you go to your friends and you go, oh, I saw this hilarious comic. His name's Matteo Lane. You got to check him out.
This guy's great.
And then they Google you, and there are a whole bunch of pictures of your ass and you're naked on your Instagram and everything. It makes it difficult, to spread the word.
I wish I had abs like that.
Yeah,
God damn it.
I really do look like a whore, but I kind of love it.
Yeah, if I worked out to the point that I could pull anything like that off, I would want to do naked pictures.
I would
all the
too.
time,
I just can't. I'll never stand like that in a photograph ever.
If you look like
a whore in the window.
Yeah, unless the guy my cellmate commands me to do so, I will never. I will never be confident enough. Just the one with jeans and just your arms up. I will never be confident enough to do that.
Yeah, but also look at my artwork. I got drawings.
Yeah, let's look at the artwork, Troy. Stop lathering yourself
up. If you scroll down a bit, I did all the X-Men. So if you scroll down, I did something for all the straight. There's all my X-Men. There's Storm, Jean Grey.
Great.
Wow. There's a photo of you almost naked in tiny bikini briefs, wearing cowboy boots, a cowboy hat, and holding a teddy bear. And then a few pictures above that is your drawing of Barbra Streisand. It does seem like you're targeting a specific audience.
I'm a huge faggot.
I see. I didn't realize.
One criticism I got, someone's like, he talks too much about being gay. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I cannot help how gay I am. Yeah. I just cannot stop. And what am I going to do? Get up and be like, well, listen, the problem with airplanes. No, I'm getting dick up my ass, and I love talking about being gay.
But nobody sits there and rags on other comics for talking about all the pussy that they get, or all the women that they're fucking, or whatever, or not in the case of...
In the grand scheme of things, too, there's very, very... a openly gay male comic who is as big as Jerry Seinfeld doesn't exist.
Right.
There is none.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, I'm making up all the rules. Me and Solomon Giorgio and Joel Kim Booster and all these gay comics coming up, we can kind of just make up the rules as we want to go.
Yeah.
So I don't have to... I don't want to explain myself constantly to people in my life. Just either get on board or you don't.
Yeah, this is what you like. This is who you are.
But also in my act, actually, really, if you come see me on the road, most of my material is universal. I really don't talk. I don't talk about having gay sex. I don't talk, and not because I'm ashamed of it for any reason. It's just I'm more drawn to talking about the Food Network or that. You know what I mean? I have jokes.
Right. Well, it's great. You provide everything. You watch your special on Netflix, and you go, oh, these are some funny jokes. And then you go, okay, and that's what he looks like naked.
And you go to Instagram, you're like, never mind.
And he's great too.
He's a great drawer too. He's a great illustrator.
Who's that one in the middle there, that lady?
That's Maleficent.
Can I see her? Can you make that picture of her?
No, Maleficent.
He doesn't. He's so straight. He doesn't know who Maleficent is.
Oh my God. Maleficent.
There you go.
It really is. It really. She's a
Disney lady.
Yeah, Disney lady.
She is a Disney lady.
She is.
Am I coming off super insecure? And okay, sorry. I'm very insecure.
Why are you insecure?
I don't know.
I hate that we both have gray shirts on, but they don't look the same on us. Hurts me a lot.
Sorry, I can change.
When Jim presents himself and says, I'm very insecure, you go yeah.
As justified, as you should be.
But there's nothing for you to be insecure about here. You've mastered a lot of crafts, it seems like.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah, you could do a great Barbara Corcoran. She's my favorite.
You know what? Of all the things that I do, when I was a waitress and when I...
You know she has kids and like a husband?
No.
Her husband, by the way, is Methuselah.
Is he awful?
They put a picture together and I was like, oh my God. Like, you know, I literally like shell shocked.
Well, he's old?
Yeah. It's the early hundreds, but I feel bad that I'm talking. I don't want to talk shit about her because I truly enjoy her. I enjoy her the same way I enjoy people like Liza Minnelli. They're just like kind of strung together and not really sure like how they got in this position, but like I'm fascinated by them.
Is Liza known to drink a little, huh?
Well, I've been known to sort of kind of have fun, especially at Studio 54. I was a wet nurse. I had a lot of fun. I was at Neiman Marcus the other day for the Hudson Yards, and I was smoking.
They had an article they wrote because she came out and sang New York, New York, which, you know, of course she sounds like beef jerky. And and so they said in the review, like, there was a puff of smoke coming out of Liza's dressing room. She was having a pre-show cigarette. I'm like, Liza's at Hudson Yards, $1 billion project at Neiman Marcus to sing New York, New York. She's smoking like a 16-year-old in high school. Like, better get this quick one in.
In her dressing room?
Yeah.
There's a picture of Barbara and her husband. There is an age gap. And Barbara Corcoran
Not a big one.
Well, this is from like 30 years ago.
Yeah, there's one. Look up at the top.
Bill
right
Higgins.
there.
That's a man's name.
No, next to it.
What did Bill Higgins think?
It's oh my god.
Yeah, there's a big age gap.
Yeah, he looks like Sumner Redstone. That don't even look like pictures were taken in the same time.
Barbara's husband he's gotten to the point where at first he was just kind of a charming old man, whatever, and he's past the point of no return.
Right.
It's like, oh, he's old.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it just happens one day. It just all hits you all at once, and it's unfortunately hit Mr. Corcoran.
If you look close, there's a few strings holding him up.
Yeah, he's an older man.
Did you see Wendy Williams yesterday make her big announcement? Did you see that?
Oh, yes, I watched. First of all, I love Wendy Williams because Wendy, you know, she'll be, if she's talking about Brad and Angelina, she'll take the conversation and move it directly to her.
She sure does.
She does. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I'm so proud of her because before we get into, I'm going to hedge this conversation. I'm a big Wendy Williams fan. Hello, huge faggot over here. But
I see.
She was, really acting strange. For a long time. For a year. And because she used to be so quick and this and that. And then all of a sudden, she's just kind of loopy and her eyes are glossed over and she couldn't form sentences. And so then she goes away for like a month and comes back. Oh, it was my Graves' disease. And my doctor said I had the lowest. No, it's not Graves' disease.
Wasn't her husband cheating on her?
That's the rumor. The rumor is the husband's got another family and all this other stuff. So yeah, she fainted and stuff. So now she comes back after like a 2.5 month hiatus and she gives some bullshit answer. So I have a lot of doctors and and I was just tired. It's like, no, Wendy. So finally she said.
And I mean, she looks like a different person. I was a big fan of her when she was on the radio. Right. Like I loved her radio show in New York. I thought it was the best thing. I adored it. And then she left radio to do TV.
Her fall is so dramatic.
It's the greatest thing I've ever.
We're watching.
That fall
she was
awesome.
On her Halloween show, she dressed up as the Statue of Liberty and literally collapsed. She passed out and fainted.
I want one woman to react this way when I show her my dick.
It's also just so funny that, like, of all the days, she's in a green wig with a green dress.
Yeah, of course.
Of course she faints as the Statue of Liberty.
And everybody's kind of giggling as she faints because it looks so cartoony and over the top.
But that's genuinely who she is.
Of course
you know what
it is.
I faint. I was trying to grab my head because I didn't want my hair to move.
So she said. She ran to hurt her head.
But she's like weirdly skinny now, like not healthy skinny, weirdly skinny. Her eyes are popping out of her head all of a sudden. She doesn't look like the same person.
Well, that is the Graves' disease. She's like 51, I think,
what
or
is,
2.
What does Graves do to you?
Graves' disease, I'm not sure what exactly it does, but one of the side effects is it makes your eyes start to get really big, and you can get rashes. 54. So I had a friend who had Graves' disease, and she, for a long time, her eyes started getting really big. And a woman in the airport stopped her and said, "Look, obviously you don't know me, but I work with this, foundation. I think you might have Graves' disease. You should go to your doctor." She did. She started getting treated. If you get treated early enough, it can, make your eyes go back to normal.
What does Graves do to you?
Well, in Wendy's case, apparently makes you missing for 2.5 months. Wow. But I'm glad I really am proud of her for saying, she has an addiction problem. She's living in a sober house. I mean, it takes a lot to say that and to be Wendy Williams. I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Is Graves' disease kill you or no?
Graves' disease it's an autoimmune disorder that causes hyperthyroidism, an overactive thyroid. With this disease, your immune system attacks the thyroid and causes it to make more thyroid hormone than your body needs. The thyroid is a small butterfly-shaped gland in the front of your neck,
which could explain her weight. Her thyroid.
Yeah,
and her
I guess
weight,
that's true.
And
up and down.
Yeah, she's vegan now, and God, I'm just the expert of Wendy Williams.
You know a lot about Wendy. I didn't know all these things.
I know. I love Wendy. I love Wendy Williams.
Well, let's go to the clip. She's on her show yesterday. Yeah, and she's standing out there in the audience. She's holding her microphone, and this is how she explains her hiatus.
Jesus, she looks psychotic.
She looks like what?
She looks psychotic.
Yeah. Yeah, and she also, but she doesn't look good.
She doesn't.
She also doesn't really move properly
she's
anymore.
Becoming a little Mariah, where like if you look at Mariah back in the day, she's running around the stage. Now she's very like, stands very still when
deliberate
she
in her movements. But it's almost when I look at this, I feel like she's worried that she's going to break or fall apart, or if she moves too quickly, her arm is going to break or whatever.
She's also probably nervous. She now has to tell millions of people, "Hi, I'm a coke addict living in a sober house."
Yeah.
I don't think that's, it's not just, "Hey, everyone, I'm a coke addict." So, where's you to the Wendy Williams show?
Yeah, you're right.
So, you know me for being a very open and truthful person, and I've got more to the story for you.
Whoever's the asshole, by the way, that went, whoa. Like as if
some gay in the back. Girl.
As if this was going to be like a fun part of the show.
I mean, her audience is, it's just...
I want to know.
They're the best.
Are they instructed not to look at her?
Yes, they must be because of the camera. They're probably told to watch her on the monitor and don't all turn your heads towards her.
Because some of them are looking at the camera, but there's the one Asian woman with the pink tiara on that is staring right at her. And when I was watching this video last night, I couldn't stop looking at her because her reactions to what Wendy's saying are priceless.
Oh, I didn't even watch her.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
She's grabbing her friend.
She's grabbing her friend's hand.
Kevin and I have the Hunter Foundation for the Good of the People.
She's nodding, yeah.
And we recently launched our 888-5 Hunter number for those.
Some gay, for those listening, just gave her a Kleenex box.
Because she's already starting to
She's already starting to choke up
to her
those
show.
giant eyes.
Nicole Byer was a guest, and she brought me, and we stood on the side, and then Nicole referenced me, and so Wendy waved me. That was my one claim to waving.
Was that exciting?
Wendy. Yeah, because of course I'm so excited. I love it.
So you got to wave to Wendy.
Yeah.
You got to be in an elevator with Mariah.
Oh, that was the best.
Do you have goals anymore?
Yeah. What do you?
Do I have gold? If I mean, Streisand, I would die.
That's it. Streisand is the last one.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she's like,
maybe you'll take a bus with her or do something like that. Something in passing.
You're saying all these meaningless interactions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I do should talk about her being gay. I'm thinking about it.
She would love you, Barbara Streisand.
No, I don't think she would.
Why?
Why not?
Because she's, she's like, my chickens lay green eggs. She's like in her own Malibu world.
I see.
And she doesn't like compliments. She doesn't like anyone but her husband, James Brolin, and her friend, Diana, whatever her name is, who makes her dresses for her.
Unfortunately, I do not know what Diana's name is.
What is her name? Diane?
She doesn't seem like she's the easiest woman to get along with.
No.
Barbara?
Not at all.
Babs?
No.
Well, she's been treated like a queen for so long.
She's probably arrogant.
Yeah.
But rightfully so.
How old is she?
She's 71, I want to say.
Oh, okay, I actually thought she was older.
Let's go back to Wendy.
In the struggle of addiction. Well, for
Troy, how come you're pausing it?
I'm not. Troy, you got to stop pausing
some
it.
time now, and even today and beyond, I have been living in a sober house. When you see me come to work, glammed up, right after the show, I go across the street, I do my Pilates. I told you 2 hours a day, I like to take care of my body. And
you see the woman with the tiara? Like everything Wendy says, there's a woman with the tiara just looking at her going like, yeah.
Yes, you have said that.
You did tell us about the Pilates. I know.
I do recall hearing that.
She's actually like my Italian grandma.
Struggle with cocaine in my past, and I never went to a place to get the treatment. I don't know how, except God was sitting on my shoulder and I just stopped. But there are people in your family, it might be you, who've been struggling.
Why is she holding
And
the
I wanted
microphone?
to know.
I thought of that, but I'm guessing it's in case there's a comment from anybody.
Or maybe she's going to go to the audience right after, but you would think that they would just pass her the mic later because
it looks stupid.
She should have been sitting in her chair. She's standing. All of this positioning is
with the people behind
weird.
her.
It's
and
weird.
That Asian woman is awesome, though.
She's the greatest.
I want to take her out to eat.
First of all, she's very beautiful, and it's really funny that she's wearing this.
I want her to wear that hat while we go out. Yeah.
It's just so
I want to take her to Roy Rogers in that outfit.
It's like a bachelorette party. Except she's way too old to be that. You know what I mean? She's not like this college chick that's hanging out with her college friends.
She's like 31 with a job.
Right.
Yeah, I love her.
What are you wearing a tiara still for?
Yeah.
It's over.
I want to take her out and make love.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wendy also, the problem with her microphone is it's pink sparklies all over it. So it kind of, the minute you get lost in the seriousness of her speech.
It's like being in a Barbie house crying about your Coke problem.
I was literally just thinking of a Barbie camper as you said that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, she's going to get in her pink Corvette to go to her Pilates house. You know, it's very pink and gaudy.
Yeah.
The story. So this is my autobiographical story, and I'm living it, and I'm telling you this. After I go to the Pilates, I go to several meetings all around town in the tri-state area, and I see my brothers and sisters caught up in their addiction and looking for help. They don't know I'm Wendy. They don't care I'm Wendy. There's no autographs. There's no nothing. It's the brothers and sisters caught up in the struggle.
There's like shine marks coming off the microphone.
Yeah,
There's
it's
like gleams.
glistening. Yeah,
it's glistening.
Yeah,
as
I like
she's
that.
saying this.
I like that. Yeah.
Also, don't you
It has
think
a little lens flare.
Yeah,
J.J. Abrams vibe to it.
There
which
is
I like.
some sci-fi effects being added into this. Even though I'm sure that they're not asking for photos and autographs. I mean, the people in the sober house know she's
A lot of them might, yeah.
I would think so. She's a pretty big celebrity at this point,
people
especially
know
in New
Wendy.
York.
Yeah, she's been around forever. She's been around for how long was she doing radio for before she got her show?
I mean, years.
So people, early 90s, mid 90s?
Yes.
She started doing radio, so people know who Wendy is.
Absolutely.
And it's been really interesting, this ride. Only Kevin and Kevin have known about this.
That's her husband, right?
Kevin and Kevin?
Who's
Her
the other
son
Kevin?
is Kevin.
Oh.
I see. The two Kevins.
Mm-hmm.
Not my parents.
Like the Wendy
Nobody knew.
Williams translator.
'Cause I look so glamorous out here. But
Glamorous?
after I finish my...
Yeah, I mean, she's just wearing a black shirt.
No, she's wearing it almost looks like a romper from this point. But then look, she has a great wig stylist. I'm not particularly into this wig. She has better wigs.
Yeah.
This is not the best wig.
For her to do, a thing where she's like, normally I'm so glamorous. I know that's what you all see. And for her to be specifically not glamorous, it's weird.
It's cultural appropriation, by the way, her wig.
You think so?
It's not.
Sure.
What?
Because because it's straight blonde hair?
Yeah.
I see.
You are the most insane.
That's right. It doesn't bother me.
Absolutely not cultural.
You think it is, Jim?
Sure.
You don't think so, Matteo?
No.
But you, Jim, you do. You see
Yeah,
it.
if I went on there and had dreadlocks, they'd accuse me of it.
They might.
They would.
I
And
don't
they'd
know.
be-
They definitely would. But
They would.
I mean, there are white guys with dreadlocks that don't get accused of.
Sure,
cultural
there's one guy
appropriation.
couldn't perform in a college in
I mean, there's like one story
Yeah.
of that. There's lots of white guys with dreadlocks that don't get accused
no,
of
but if it was
cultural
a wig.
appropriation.
If it was a wig.
I do think it's so funny we're watching Wendy Williams and we've segued into
Oh, yeah, I know.
dreadlocks and white suits.
After I finish my appointments, seeing my brothers and sisters and, breaking bread, I am driven by my 24-hour sober coach back to a home that I live in here in the in the tri-state with a bunch of smelly boys who've become my family. They hog the TV and watch soccer. And we talk and read and talk and read, and then I get bored with them. Doors locked by 10 p.m. Lights out by 10 p.m. So I go to my room and I stare at the ceiling and I fall asleep to wake up to come back here to see you. So that is my truth.
That must be so strange, though, to go from a sober house, which I know friends who have worked at sober houses and how intense it can be, and then all of a sudden be this huge TV star. Like, and this show requires you to be super connected to what's happening with celebrity culture. So it's like she must be really briefed when she gets into that room at 6 a.m. They must be like, all right, Wendy, this is the deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, very reliant on her staff at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And that is your job. You got to be there as often as you can. It's not like other jobs where you can take a month off. It's hard. I mean, she has.
She just took 2.5 months off. She can't keep taking time off. Otherwise, they're just going to give the gig to Jerry O'Connell once and for all.
I'm guessing she went to rehab first. That's my guess. That's probably why she might not have been able to leave the rehab. They might have said, you're 30 days here. Or whatever it was.
Right.
And then the sober house, she can kind of do both.
Make a deal, yeah.
So while she was gone for that period of time, you think she was in rehab?
I guess I don't really know anything about her, but I'm only guessing because she's saying a sober house. But she was off the air for a month, so she must have been doing something.
2.5 months.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Everybody thought she was getting fired or she was done.
Yeah.
Well, the big deal was that she was like, you know, her husband is cheating and has another family, and that was like the big rumor, and that the staff no longer wanted her there. Blah 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 blah.
I don't know. I mean, is it courageous for Wendy's like she's spilled everybody else's gossip for so long? I feel like
it's honest.
She's doing the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know, but I mean, it's honest.
Yeah,
I think it's honest. I think it's interesting too when you do get someone who's in a position who's constantly calling out other people's, personal lives, and then she goes through some huge scandal and doesn't talk about it.
Right.
It is kind of like, wait a minute, why aren't you discussing this?
Right.
Like, but it was so easy for you to. So at least she's stepping up and owning it, and we'll see what happens from here on.
Yeah, I wonder if people were going to start reporting on this, like if people had found out and she realized, like, I need to step in front of this because at some point this is going to end up in the newspapers and whatnot. And then you're right. Then people go, you've been doing this? I thought your show was all about what's going on in your life and everything. You haven't been telling us that this is what's going on with you?
Right.
But you're right. I mean, that to go from a sober house, which is, I mean, the very premise of it is it's like harsh reality. It's not, you're not special. You're not anything. It's just this, you're a human being.
Well, that's also called spade a spade. They have a chef. They have, they have people making the meals and cleaning the, this is.
You think it's a very nice sober house?
Yeah. This is not, a sober house in the middle of Oklahoma.
Right.
Okay. This is Wendy Williams, millionaire. This is going to be a nice sober
Are there
house.
nice ones? I guess there are. I mean, I would assume.
There must be one. I mean, because it's not like she's the first celebrity to have gone to a sober house, right?
No.
Right. Yeah.
So there have to be sober houses that cater to celebrities.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's been to what, like 8?
Yeah.
How many has he done?
And the sober coach, I don't understand. Like, I get what you do as a
Having
sober
somebody
coach.
around you 24 hours.
Yeah.
Don't do coke. I think it's just some people need a person around them that's going to hold them accountable.
That's a celebrity thing. That's a celebrity.
Real people don't have.
Well, people in AA, they have a sponsor, and then they're a sponsee, so they have the.
Oh yeah, people you call and talk to.
Right.
Sure, I'm saying
But you don't have somebody around you.
You don't have
24 hours.
somebody
No,
traveling
driving
with you. Although again, it's I guess especially when you're on the road. If you're a musician and you're on the road, it's like you're like literally sitting in you're traveling. Everyone wants to give you coke. Everyone wants to get you high. It's probably a little different than most people have to go through too.
Right. Yeah, the opportunity is just there, always, always, always.
Oh, these are pictures of her getting out and going to her sober house. Now she's all glammed up.
Of course she is.
Is this interesting to anyone listening?
Yeah,
I mean, I think so. You got
I'm always afraid we're gonna get into. Is that her Pilates studio?
You got a celebrity.
That's
like
a sober living place, and it's not glamorous.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Well, it's New York. You never know, right? You see the facade outside, and you're like, "Oh, this looks like shit," and then inside, it's glamorous.
Yeah. But I'm sure they're actually making her go to bed at 10 o'clock. And blah blah blah.
I totally believe it too. Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing is in a place like that, when you are a celebrity, when you're Wendy Williams and the whole show is about you, that kind of translates into your life where you can kind of behave however you want. You get whatever you want. You set your own rules. So to go from
any celebrity, when you get really big, you can just act any way you want. And people just say yes. People just agree to it.
Right. And that's why you see these celebrities doing such fucking crazy things, because anybody that's around them that would say, no, you shouldn't do this, they've been eliminated.
Right.
I don't want that energy.
Who is he having an affair with?
Well, that's rumored, so no one knows. But
you refuse to believe it.
I don't not believe it, but I also just, She's been through enough.
I just like that you're so supportive of Wendy.
I am supportive of Wendy.
Jim's like, who's the affair supposedly with you? It's a rumor, Jim.
Now I'm her PR person.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not discuss that. Wendy's gone through enough.
Well, she's been through enough. Oh, yes.
Yeah, she does not live in a great sober house. It's just a sober house. It's just a normal sober house.
If that's what, we're looking at photos of what the sober house is purported to be.
It looks a little bit like a Quinton Inn or whatever those shit hotels are called. A Best Western in like Arizona.
What's the Quinta? I haven't stayed in one.
Quinta Inn.
La Quinta Inn.
Yeah.
Are they bad?
Doesn't sound great.
All those little places, like different, like they always scare me. So I'm like, they're gonna have bed bugs.
Yeah.
Or like the what's it called suites? Who does all this? The Hampton,
Homewood Suites.
Homewood Suites.
Hampton Inn Suites are nice. They're like fucking Courtyard by Marriott.
Yeah.
I sleep like a motherfucker in a Courtyard by Marriott.
They're clean. You know what I mean? That you just want something clean and
I love a good Courtyard by Marriott. Fuck. It's my favorite place in the world.
I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan last weekend, and they put us in a pretty nice hotel. It was, and I love getting room service. Is my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah,
just a little prince,
right?
Waking up and ordering my shit eggs and shit coffee. Bring it to me.
Do you order too much food?
Oh, absolutely.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Right?
What is that? Oatmeal? Throw it on. Strawberries? No bananas. Just a piece of shit.
And then you just leave your tray on the outside of the room.
Here.
It's most of the food is still there. Yeah.
Immediately I put it out so bugs don't come.
I put it out just because I don't want the smell. I don't want to walk back in your room and all of a sudden you're like, oh, toast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and bugs will crawl all over it.
You really are afraid of bugs?
Yeah, what
like
bugs?
What's Travis? Oh,
when you walk through the garden.
Sorry.
If they're just like waiting, like in the wings for you to be finished with your
food.
Let's
go, boys.
No, but they smell. They smell it.
No, they don't.
How quickly do you think bugs operate?
I don't know. Ants, but don't fuck around. What do you think? They wait 2 weeks?
They're not just sitting there. You're acting like these hotels are all infested.
Yeah, but eating and a fly lands on your shit while you're eating it. What do you think happens when you walk away from that?
Right. Like, that's basically what you're saying. Is that these hotels are just infested and they're just waiting for you to finish.
Hey, I don't trust them.
Yes. Here's what I do. I get my room service. Generally, I just leave it there and then go to sleep.
Never.
And then I put it out the next morning. I've never seen one bug on it.
Never
one.
They're under the tin. You don't even see them. Never.
I pick up the tin to put it outside. They're not there.
No, I mean you probably put the cap back on. That little thing that goes back on top of the plate.
Sometimes I hate when the cover that they put for the tray comes in that like thick plastic, and it looks like hospital foods coming to you.
Yes,
yeah.
Gross.
I'm like, just put the fucking aluminum tin. I can't with this thick 70s plastic. Like, it's easy to wash. Like, all right, well now it just looks like I'm eating shit, which it is shit.
But all of a sudden, your fantasies of being the prince and being served
ruined.
They all go away. Now you're in prison.
Yeah. And I always have to figure out, like, what outfit am I going to wear when I answer the door? 'Cause you know what I mean? Is it the dress? Is it that? No. It's like you put on a robe, because I'm always just in shorts or underwear, and then you get that knock, and I panic. Because they said 30 minutes, it's only been 15.
But you don't just go to you put the bathrobe on, you put on the hotel bath shoes.
Shirt or something. No, I'm not a big robe guy, to tell you the truth. I hate robes.
I don't like them either.
Yeah. I don't like them. It's like you wearing a blanket? Grow up. I'm not into robes.
I see. I thought, but there's nothing luxurious about it.
No, I feel like no. To me, no.
After a massage, I like a robe. If I'm in a spa, I like a nice gentleman's robe.
You do.
To relax.
Yeah.
Crushed velvet robe.
Enjoy my spa experience.
Have a cigar and a robe.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like. A delightful Mandarin Oriental afternoon.
You really think that just all these hotels, I mean, you stay at really nice hotels.
I do. I prefer the Courtyard by Marriott over all of them.
They don't have bugs that are just sitting there waiting for you to do anything wrong.
No, you're right.
I'm doing some club in Phoenix. Should I switch to a hotel? They have a what's it called?
A condo?
Yeah.
I'd literally sleep in the back of the owner's car before I'd stay in the fucking condo.
I'm gonna.
You're doing it right now.
Reminder in my phone to call my manager today.
Yeah, absolutely. The comedy condo.
Yeah.
Did you used to do condos?
You bet I did.
That's like sleeping on a giant bed bug.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Disguised as a bed.
So it's a condo that they just get and everybody just
comes
as the comics.
They all come in it.
Right. And they don't wash the sheets.
I like the idea of like
bed.
a kitchen so I could cook, but it's 2 nights. So I'm like, I can find food for 2 nights.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I like a hotel. I haven't stayed in a condo in many years. I mean, I have done them. They're awful.
Did you ever get bed bugs in them?
No, I've never had bed bugs. But but
Yeah, I
I'm
know
careful and I don't put my shit on the bed either.
No,
I'm sure
never
I've
put
had
on-
them and didn't know it, like in a hotel. My stuff is separate. I'll find a dresser and I'll stack my stuff on top of it. I don't even put it in the drawers.
I get a string, attach it to the ceiling, and have everything I own hanging, so those bed bugs can't get anywhere near me.
But if the bed bugs are that bad that you can't put anything anywhere,
you would know it.
They can crawl on furniture too.
You would
They can, sure. I'm just saying that the odds are they'll be in the bed.
Yeah, they'll stick to the bed because that's where the person sleeps. So the heat is, that's where they go.
But let's be honest, that's why they call them
exactly
bed bugs.
But they can get all over. But you have to be really infested for them to be in the walls.
Yeah.
They're disgusting.
Ugh, I'm just getting nervous thinking about it.
I mean, have you ever had an encounter with bed bugs for somebody that's worried about them as
My
much as you are?
ex-girlfriend had them.
Not crabs.
No, bed bugs.
Okay.
Well, those two, but she had bed bugs. And they were driving her crazy, so she had to sleep a certain way.
Why didn't she call someone to get rid of them?
Oh, she did. But I mean, as far as getting rid of her, like, she had all these clothes and she'd put them in
bags.
In bags, and I made her wash them down in my apartment building downstairs. I wouldn't let her use my washer. I'm like, downstairs, and then after you're done, you dry them, put them in this bag, seal it, and I bought her these plastic things. I'm like, seal it for a week so no air gets in.
Yeah. Actually, they say to keep it for like a month in a bag.
Really?
Yeah.
I do feel like if I ever got bed bugs, I would never be able to be comfortable in that spot ever again.
No, you have to get rid of the bed. You have to get rid of everything.
Everything. I feel like I'd
Everything
want to
must
move.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ugh, that's just the thought of it.
It's bad.
New York's famous for that dog, Roscoe the dog, who walks in the house and sits and barks if he smells bed bugs.
Yeah. I mean, they got the movie theaters in Times Square had a big bed bug problem for a while.
Movie theaters get them. Fitting rooms get them.
Really? Fitting rooms?
Oh, sure, because people are sitting on the cloth, putting their dumb clothes down, their bags, that bed bugs. Subways get them.
Yeah, Subways, that makes sense. A lot of times in Subways, I don't want to sit down.
No.
I
But
just
the Subways,
stand.
like,
It's a
are
hard plastic chair.
plastic. It's one solid piece. Like, there's no
It's easier to
cracks.
clean. They just come in and just
Hose it down.
The same way they hose down porn stars' assholes is how they hose down,
It's just going to get messy again. Let's not go to all the trouble.
Haven't you noticed that porn stars' assholes are just like, it's like they take a fire hose to them. They are just so clean.
Immaculate. They get a little butt jelly on them once in a while, as they call it. Butt jelly.
What's butt jelly?
When you're doing an anal scene and you get a little gunk on the old dick.
Oh,
No,
that's called
butt jelly in the
jelly?
business. They call it butt jelly.
I think it's just shit, right?
Yeah, but it might just be not to be necessarily a whole bunch. It might just be a teeny bit of shit.
I see. You don't want to make
that's
a big...
got water mixed in with it.
Right. I get it.
Butt jelly.
Let's not call this doo doo and make a big production out of it.
No,
It's a little
we're
butt
gonna
jelly.
We've all had a mishap.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
I had one mishap in 1974.
Oh, you know, she shit on a bunch of dicks.
You think so?
Oh, lies out. Come on. She never cleans out.
That's how I hit the high notes.
Speaking of movie theaters, by the way, did you see what our favorite service is back?
I was hoping they'd bring that back.
Movie Pass.
It's a good deal.
Movie Pass is back. Jim and I have been tracking the progress of this company, like a couple of investors, quite frankly. We're obsessed with Movie Pass. I am not a subscriber still. You're not either, Jim?
No, I'm not.
No.
I don't even, I go to like one movie a year.
Well, Movie Pass is this incredible service, and it was launched a while back, but about a year ago, they revamped their service. So it was for $10 a month, you subscribe to Movie Pass.
Okay.
And at $10 a month, you can get you can go to as many movies as you want, as much as you want.
Well, that sounds like a good idea.
So it's $10 a month.
Okay.
And you can see basically up to 30 movies.
Isn't
You
it
can
like
do-
$32 for an adult ticket
It
in New
is.
York? Like $10 a month seems like a great deal.
Well, and here's how the company structured it. They just bought the tickets. So the company is actually buying the ticket. They give you a debit card. So you have a Movie Pass debit card. So you go to the theater, you put your credit card in the machine, you get your movie tickets. All you did was pay them $9.99 for the month, and you can go up to 30 times that month and see as many movies as you want. Here's the issue. They ran out of money because everything, all the movie tickets were more expensive than anybody was paying per month.
Right.
Yeah. So they quickly ran into the issue.
No one
of,
thought about. Look, when you're going to start a business, you have to know about money. You have to know about stats.
So very quickly they go, wait, if you go to one movie for the month,
You got your
just see
money's
one.
worth.
Yeah, we've actually lost money. Movie Pass loses money if a subscriber goes to one movie a month. If they go to 30, they lose a tremendous amount of money. So
Well, who wouldn't go to 30? You get $10 a month. You're going to go to every movie you could possibly go to.
Well, they were factoring in that people would just sign up and not go to anything, and unfortunately, they
People love the
predicted.
movie.
Companies sound stupid.
Yeah, they predicted wrong.
Really stupid.
They predicted wrong. They went through.
How do they even convince anybody of this idea?
They probably figured it would initially be a hit, and then all of a sudden, like AOL, people would just forget to take it off their bill.
Right.
What if that was the noise made every time you got a movie? Like, I'm not coming back here.
That's what they were hoping
It's humiliating.
for. Yeah.
Get off the phone. I'm online.
Did you ever see the guy who does the You've Got Mail? He's an Uber driver now.
No.
Could you please show that guy?
You've got mail. It sounds Uber drivers.
But he's the original AOL voice guy.
He is?
Oh, yeah.
And now he's Uber driving?
Yeah.
This guy's.
Oh, this is painful.
Oh,
He's
no,
the
this is
guy who
fine.
said you've got mail. The original voice.
So this is like for a fun thing, right?
Yeah,
This isn't
I'm sure he
real.
segues it in somehow. No, it's real, yeah.
It's real. That's the guy.
Look at these assholes in the background.
These Uber passengers are in shock. No. Why? Because their driver is Elwood
First of all,
Edwards.
can I just say something? The people, okay, Inside Edition, the people doing this voice, do they think they're on Mad TV? No one actually talks like this. These people are blown away. No, they're not. If I met the guy who did the You've Got Mail, I'd say, oh, that's interesting.
Mildly interesting.
Mildly interesting.
You wouldn't be blown away.
No, I can't believe I'm in the back. Like, how? Like, and who's the director watching? This guy talks like this and say, got it. A bunch of assholes.
They really are horrible.
Oh,
It is
they're
horrendous.
assholes.
It is horrendous.
All right, let's now watch it again. You have to hear him say it. It's really a great moment.
It's great.
The guy behind that famous greeting from the early days of the internet.
You've got mail.
So how did Elwood end up driving for Uber?
Everywhere I go, people say, you get residuals? Do you make a lot of money from it? You know, and the question is always answered with no.
Elwood was paid just $200
Here's
for
the
that
asshole.
famous recording.
Yeah.
His wife was working for AOL at the time.
By the
Get
way,
this.
he's making the same exaggerated faces that you just were.
By the way, the Jim Norton Sam Roberts show. So this is fun, and I'm going to explode.
You can't exist
No one talks like
normally.
that. It's
and
not
talk
normal
like
You
that.
know when they like tried to like pull an atom apart or whatever that big machine is in Germany or whatever?
The Hadron Collider
Yeah,
in Switzerland. I think.
that's what's happening on his face.
By the way, whoever allowed that guy to sign up and get $200 to do the AOL voice, clearly this was going to end up being one of those stories. You know, in the moment, one day people are going to look back on this and say, that was a stupid thing you did.
Well, he's trying to pull, what's his name from the Cosby Show? He's trying to pull like the Trader Joe's, like
Right.
now he's working at Trader Joe's, blah, blah, blah. But it's also like the second we were done with AOL, I never thought about the You've Got Mail guy.
No, I didn't either.
And what is it my fault that he didn't have another job while he was doing that voice? Like,
I never even considered him a guy. I figured it was just a computer
Yeah, I
thing.
did too.
Like,
We have to hear him say it. This will be fun.
you like when he says it.
I do. It's the real guy saying it.
Right. There's something fun and nostalgic
Oh, my
about
God.
it, isn't there?
Yeah.
I would just be so depressed if I got in this Uber.
It'd be great if he said it and then just a gunshot rang out.
also, let me just
From a
say,
tower.
you know that not one person recognized his voice and
No.
that he tells every single
Everyone.
driver, have you ever used AOL?
Yeah, so you got email? Fuck you. Of course I do. Gmail, you fucking cunt.
Yeah. Whenever I get an email from AOL.com, I think just it's over.
It's
Fuck off.
over.
Go away.
Over.
Well, that's what's so great is that he's getting to the point where it's been so long that he could pick up young people and go, do you remember AOL? And they'll go, no.
No, we don't.
And he's got nothing.
AOL, I mean, at the bottom of the ocean must be hundreds of thousands of CDs of 1,000 free hours of AOL.
Do you know how long I saved those CDs for? I'm such a psychopath. In case it came back, I kept all of those old. I finally got rid of them. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, they don't even have CD drives.
Get rid of
Let
them.
alone AOL.
I still have floppy disks.
Smart.
In case.
Smart.
I want to read them. I don't know how. I have to get a reader to see what's on them.
It's not worth it.
No, there's
Oregon
nothing on
Trail.
them.
You really want to play the Oregon Trail? Just get an emulator online. Go to Google.
No, I probably had old like notes and stuff on them.
I'm sure they're really valuable notes, too.
Oh, they're probably not good jokes.
No, they're probably
bad jokes. Guys, come on.
You're right. No, you're right.
Here it goes.
You're right.
This
He
guy's
did it as a favor.
Oh,
I recorded.
But let's just
Welcome.
slap him.
You've got mail.
done.
File's done.
Done.
Goodbye. I did
Okay,
that on
also,
my
he doesn't sound like what he used to sound like
No, he
anymore.
doesn't.
He did it too quick. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
I sound more like it. You've got mail.
If you told me you were the AOL guy, I believe you.
File's done.
If this guy said it, I'd say, no, I think it was Matteo. I don't think it was you.
Can you imagine an Uber driver like everyone? I used to be the voice of the Tony the Tiger.
Yeah. Okay, what does he sound like?
They're great. Just take me to my destination.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Asshole. I don't give a shit.
Do you ever see the woman who does the airport? United Airlines, there's that woman. Look up airport voice lady because she's in every fucking airport making every fucking announcement.
I want to know who does the elevator, like lobby. Have you ever heard that when you're like in an elevator? That voice, they use that voice more than once. When you get to the lobby. I'm like, what is she about? Is she literally flicking her bean as she's saying lobby?
This lady
It is sexual.
is in every fucking airport.
All right, let's take a listen.
All my airports are full of me listening to Mariah. The only time I take it off is I say hi when I go to the desk and I put it back on.
Oh, you don't listen to the announcements?
No.
We don't need the big story, the big lead in. Let's just get to the lady.
Yeah.
The guy, we've all been to airports. Shut up.
Thank you.
Fuck off. Indeed.
Welcome to New York Kennedy International Airport.
Yeah.
In a way, she's a lot like your luggage.
No,
she's not. There's dildos in it.
Yeah.
You ever feel self-conscious when it goes through the thing and you know they're looking
When I have
at
a cock pump? No,
Yeah.
I don't. When they literally opened my bag. Well, here's what they couldn't find. There was something bothering them, and it was a little stand for your iPhone, but it's shaped like a sharp little triangle, and fucking someone had a cock pump that he was bringing on the road. Dick health, get the blood flowing.
It's important.
And the guy opened it up, and my cock pump is right there. It was fucking humiliating. He didn't say anything.
Jim, it pains me to hear you say
It was a cock pump.
It was?
It pains me to hear it.
Did he say, what's this?
No, we all knew what it was. That was humiliating.
It's literally a scene from Austin Powers.
Yeah, it's the truth. It was, but he didn't pull it out and hold it. He opened it up, and a part of me laughed. I was like, I know what's in here.
It's not mine.
But that's what was bugging me.
Do cock pumps, they work?
They do. They get the blood flowing, and you hold it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or
I feel
whatever.
like it would hurt.
It does a little if you do too much, but it keeps your dick, it keeps blood pumping into your dick.
Huh.
It's good.
That's
I
important.
invested in cock pump. I need one.
All right, let's see what this
I haven't
woman...
used it in a while. I probably should begin again.
I think so,
It's
too.
good for the penis to be, my age. You got to keep the dick working.
Dick health is important.
It sure is.
Really important.
That's why I went for those treatments.
They say health starts in the dick.
It does.
Yeah, that's where life starts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And ends, depending on... Go ahead.
That's such an East Coast thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Airport.
Everywhere you go,
There's an uptown train.
there she
Yeah,
is.
this bit stinks. I just wanted to hear...
Authoritative
She's
voice.
just a friendly voice.
And the
No, they show her
authoritative
face.
voice that you hear. We've really squeezed 4 minutes out of what needs 15 seconds of a story.
Yeah, these stories where the point of it is, this is a person that's saying those things that you hear. We know how voice recordings work.
How much do you hate it, though, if you're married to her and you're in a fight and you got to take a business trip? Hear your fucking bitchy wife in the airport? Flight delayed. Fuck you.
Echoing in the center of chaos.
It's the soothing voice.
Oh, we have to hear the
and she
interviews. Let's just find the lady. Just zip it out.
Did they find Glenn Close in the airport to do this interview? Okay, now this bitch lives in what? The Alps? Where is she?
does. And nobody sits there. Nobody hears these voices and actually has an opinion about them.
No one listens to the voice on the CTA when they say there's train traffic going, what a soothing voice. They're thinking, get me out of this fucking train.
That's it.
Maine.
Thank you for your understanding.
Oh,
Where
God,
that
it's
voice
always
has
some...
a face.
Jakarta.
Carolyn
Aircraft
Hopkins'
and
face.
crew.
And let me
Why
tell you
only-
something, too. The ego on this woman that I'll just record from home. Why go into a studio?
Yeah.
She's in a place now, please. She is the... What are you going to do, replace her?
Yeah.
She's wearing Meryl Streep's wig from Devil Wears Prada. And she really is bold with this, plum purple, jacket. I don't like her.
She's a pro, though. She does it right from her house.
How difficult would it be to find another woman that sounds like a woman?
Yeah, but she's the best.
Yeah, she's the best.
Of course, clearly.
It's a soothing voice.
When you hear her talking into doing her live read, her she's doing the read or whatever, she's great. Jakarta.
More people would listen if the voice was more distinctive. Like if you had like some smoker Italian woman from New Jersey getting on there like, hey, the train's gonna be late, you son of a bitch. You would listen.
You would enjoy it.
Yeah.
More.
Or get a gay guy on there. Girl, she's late. How many minutes late? I don't know. Just passive aggressive.
I think it'd be good.
Mean.
Moving sidewalk. Please stand to the right.
I'm done with her.
63 years
I'm
old.
done with her.
Done.
I went from not thinking about her to hating her.
I have mixed feelings.
And also, what computer is that? What computer is that? Is that Apple? The Apple computer from from 89?
84 or whatever.
Oh my God,
1984.
This video is from 2011. That's what an impression it had on Jim.
She's 71 now. Carolyn Hopkins.
Carolyn Hopkins.
I wonder if she's even still doing it. They could just use her recordings forever. Who cares?
Well, they had the Q line come in, so now she's got to say the stops for the Q line.
Of course.
There's new updates. What are they going to do when she dies? They have corrections to make.
Just find another woman that sounds like a woman.
Find anyone to read it.
Yeah.
Well, they have.
My mom could do it.
They have a male and female voice for the MTA. So then they switch off. So when it, like for her, it's like, she
was probably pissed about that.
Well,
that's half her work.
They always say like train traffic ahead. It's always weird what they choose to use a male voice and a female voice for.
How much would it suck though to hear her dirty talking to you after you hear her in the airport all day? I'm gonna suck your cock. She's like, oh,
I'm gonna suck your cock. She's got good diction.
Imagine her voice talking dirty, looking up at you. Pop your dick.
Complete nightmare. Well, me for multiple reasons, but also
you get that. Yeah, you get that.
The you got mail guy.
You've got. I don't even know. Come.
You just get that weird feeling.
That's what he says when he comes. File done.
Goodbye.
You get that weird, visceral, angry feeling you get when you hear the sound your alarm clock makes out in life, like when somebody else's iPhone alarm goes off in the middle of the day.
Like, ah!
Right. But you'd get that when she was dirty talking you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because you're thinking about your morning commute. You're thinking about being delayed at the airport. Her voice is not coupled with anything pleasant.
Gotta hear your wife.
I like it better in Italy. Like if you go to like Italy, their like neutral voice is always. She just sounds like some really hot woman. No matter how they say anything. Buongiorno ragazzi, la prossima fermata sarebbe. I'm like, oh, that's.
I gotta meet this woman.
Way better. Yeah,
I gotta meet this woman
because she's not wearing a plum Express for Men's extra large shirt, living in fucking Maine, typing on a 1994 computer, using Windows 95 in a shit wig, just proud of herself. And her
this is a unisex shirt, by the way. This shirt is unisex.
By the way, they say that whenever you go to buy cologne and it's for a woman, I go, is this man doing it's unisex? No, it's not.
Yeah. Just trying to get you to buy it without feeling like a femme.
And it works.
Yeah, it does.
I have one that I'm like, this is a fucking perfume. I can't even wear it anymore. It's Kellyanne, but it's a woman's fucking scent. I hate it now.
Isn't it weird how we've distinguished like what a difference between a male and a woman's scent is?
I know.
It's so stupid.
And I would wear something that I didn't care if it's feminine or not. I just don't like this that much. And I bought it. I shouldn't have. And then a girl I know was wearing it. And I'm like, oh.
It's fine. The lingerie, the dildos, and the cock pump are fine. But a woman's perfume.
Can't be walking around smelling like a woman.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell like a woman.
Ugh. I don't have a dildo. I had one fake dick for a while. The fucking girls like me to plow into them.
You like they liked that.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. But would it ever make you feel insecure?
No. It was a different universe than I'm from.
Right.
Please.
Right.
It was close? I might, but this thing was just, please, wasn't even human.
It was a different deal altogether.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, if you need to be stretched like that, nothing I can do.
Right. I understand.
You ever walk into a sex store and you see some of these things and you're like, that looks like a new technology for the military. I can't believe people are sticking this up their ass.
Yeah. I bought like a fake ass to fuck.
You did?
Yeah, I told you that.
How does it feel?
Well, you said you bought
silly.
You said you bought
it. Feels silly.
I thought it was the front that you bought. You bought the pelvis. I know,
but I bought the ass too.
Oh, you bought both sides.
I bought two. I finally found the S came in the mail. I had to order it.
Is there anything more truly, like if you really think about you fucking a fake ass, is there anything more like humanity's ridiculous?
Yeah.
You've bought a fake ass.
Did you fuck it?
You bet I did.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was like one of those. It's okay. You just feel like such a fool.
You liked it better than the pelvis from before?
I did. Yeah, the pelvis is great. It's terrible. This I don't like the hands on it. You feel like a fucking creep.
Doesn't like the hands, but likes
there's
the ball
I didn't even notice the balls. Jesus, shows you how jaded I am.
Oh my God, that's not jaded.
But no asshole looks like that. I mean, this looks like. Oh my God, that's a vagina? Now that's exactly what a vagina looks like.
No, that's a good one. That's a fat one.
So fat vagina.
So when you have a girl that's over at your place and she's spreading her cheeks for you and her balls are hanging down, you say, "Get those hands out of the way."
Yeah, the hands bother me.
Yeah,
I don't like
get
the
that.
hands.
I get that.
Yeah, I don't know. I know many people. See, that doesn't even look real. That looks like a weird, pipe with what looks like could be an ass, a hole, and then a dick pointing directly at me,
It's really
which is
bizarre.
almost threatening. It's like
bizarre.
they're moving into attack.
Yeah.
That's mine looked like that. One of mine looked like that with the feet on it. I hate it.
You didn't like the one with the feet.
How
Hate
big is it? Is it human size?
No, I mean, but it's like a child size. It creeps me out.
Oh,
I
that's
can't use
disgusting.
it.
It just
It's not
is
meant to be.
horrible.
It's meant to be just a thing. But I was gonna bring it in before I threw it out. I don't use it.
Well, we should see if we can get one of the guys to return it.
Oh yeah, we were gonna do that.
Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
return policy on a fake ass?
Just say it was used gently.
I would blow loads in it and then have to lift
How do you
it. It was all-
clean it?
Well, that's a great question. I would have to lift the whole thing, and it was all clumsy and hard to carry. And then I was like Harvey Keitel pulling Tim Roth in Reservoir Dogs. And you gotta put it under the sink and hose it out. It's fucking.
It is not worth the cleanup to come into a fake butt to think that you have to then, I mean, because that's the emasculinity and dignity to pick it up and carry it and bring it to the, if anyone could watch you.
Disgusting. And then you're fucking putting your fingers in to make sure the asshole's cleaned out. It's a whole operation.
And sometimes it's not, right?
Yeah,
You catch a little something.
There's all the times with this residual.
That's where you get the juice, the jam, whatever you call
The
it.
butt jelly.
The butt jelly.
Is that when you just are happy that you live alone, or is that when the sadness creeps in?
No, that's
It's
when
a mixture of both.
I see.
Yeah, you're kind of happy, you're sad. You're like, while you're fucking it, you're looking up at the door jam, wondering if it could support your weight. I don't know, what am I doing?
I get it.
I'm
get
like
it.
50.
It
I'm
makes
alone in my
sense.
apartment, fucking a plastic torso. Lonely asshole.
This is where I've ended up.
This is what's happened.
I love that
Yeah.
we spent 20 minutes hating a woman doing a wonderful job, and then we're talking about fucking butts. Like, this woman's an idiot. Now, when I ordered my fake butt,
Yeah, that's
No, but I know I'm finished. Like, I know it's over for me.
have you made this a bit on stage?
No, it's just that.
Oh my God, Jim! It's the funniest thing I've ever.
Isn't that amazing?
You
That-
100% should talk about that on stage.
I hadn't thought of it, yeah.
Oh, it is really funny.
But that's the beauty of Jim Norton. That a story like that is just the day-to-day of Jim.
Well, because so many people would die to have something like that material. Like, they wouldn't
Right.
dream it up, and Jim's.
That's just it's a boring
Would this
thing.
door support me while you're fucking a fake ass? And I mean, it's really ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea of you, and I mean,
I was trying to stop the habit. This is true of I touch my nipples a lot,
Right.
And I become so dependent on that,
Right.
that it makes sex hard because you're not even partnered up when you're having sex. Your hands are just on your own.
Yeah.
So it's really hard.
I feel nothing from my nipples.
I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
How do you stop yourself from tweaking your nipples if you're fucking a torso?
Well, that's
I mean,
the
not a
point.
torso, a pelvis.
My dick was dying a lot because I was just making myself not do it, and then you eventually get into it. You push yourself through to come. It's like retraining your body for being fucked up.
But maybe it wasn't the fact that you were lacking the nipple tweedling. Maybe it was the fact that your body was looking down and saying, "This is just a severed pelvis."
Yeah,
There's
I
nothing
mean,
sexy
but I
going
said that when
on
it's a
here.
real person anyway.
I see.
No, it's one of those things where I just knew that it's just too creepy, man.
Right.
It's creepy.
So have you been successful laying off nipple play? No, you have not been.
I haven't fucked the torso. No, I'm right back to it.
Nipple play.
Right back to lightly brushing.
You like that?
Love it.
There's a porn star named Austin Wolf, I think is his name, and he's always grabbing his nipples in his videos, and it's kind of distracting sometimes.
Yeah, you need it sometimes. Like you need, look up Austin Wolf. He
There he
put it
is.
in A, and Austin Wolf's name popped up.
Of course,
He's
it's
so hot.
Troy's Googled that before.
You think that guy's attractive? I guess he's in great shape, but I just don't.
Yeah, well, he's really, really, really good at having sex. Like, you watch him having sex, and you're like, okay, he knows what
Some
he's doing.
people are good. Would you?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are just good at fucking. I mean, it's pros. That's what they do.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm fascinated
Okay,
by
we
anybody.
don't need to watch him fucking.
Yeah, I don't need.
This
Let's
is,
see
I don't
Austin
need,
Wolf. Let's see.
Oh my god, you just want to watch gay porn?
I would
now?
watch gay porn. I don't care, but this doesn't do anything for me.
No, this is gonna be a bad video. You got to go to like the amateur.
Oh my.
What is this music?
Troy, look at his penis dangling over his leg.
His
I hate
penis
his.
isn't the biggest penis either, but
Yeah,
it's
we
not
are.
about that. It's
No.
about like how he moves and treats the guys and stuff. Like he's really, really.
How does he
hot.
treat them?
Oh my god.
I mean, it depends on the. God, really, just getting into it.
Well, it depends
now
on the
I'm getting
guy.
embarrassed.
This is for Jim's benefit. Don't worry.
No,
No,
I
you
don't.
can't watch the professional videos. You got to watch.
Oh, he's
like,
slapping the guy. I get it. He's
Oh my
bossing him
God,
around.
I can't watch. This is.
Whoa! Wow.
See,
that guy's doing it. That guy's doing it. I hate
a plank. I hate when
plank.
you watch porn.
Yeah,
if
but
you
what's
watch porn, no, but if you watch porn, they're getting like they're getting paid, like it's a studio. They're always putting themselves in position no one cares about.
He's not just doing a plank.
He's eating the guy's asshole while the guy does a plank.
Yes, thank you. You know, there are people listening
I guess that's
going,
the gayest thing you could do because he's like, good, I'll get an ab workout in and I'll get fucked at the same time. You've got to turn this off.
It's too much. Troy.
You like
it's too
this?
much. Troy, I understand.
Not
you
with
like
other
it.
people
No, this is for
around.
Jim.
I
I
understand you like
particularly
it. Troy.
wouldn't enjoy this because it's too high production.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
Jim's not
need
even
a
looking
good
anymore,
lighting.
Troy. You
Jim.
could you could turn off your gay porn.
I like a little bit of a low budget
You can turn
vibe
it-
to
okay.
porn.
Yeah, I want it to look like there's like two people actually like having sex. You've got to turn off this gay
Troy,
porn.
you can turn
Troy,
off your gay
Got to
porn.
be done with it.
I understand you like it.
It's
and
too
you want to
distracting
bring your
of a
interest into the
Trying to
show.
help the segment.
The plank, I don't understand. Like the guy was doing a plank
Show
on a
him off.
windowsill, and the other guy was behind him eating his ass, supporting his legs, and eating his asshole.
Yeah, the last thing I want to do when I'm getting fucked is work out. I do that enough. I don't need to be doing a plank.
You want to show
and-
off your abilities, though.
Okay, well then,
I hate
let me
planks.
sing opera while I'm getting fucked next time.
I hate planks.
Yeah, they're really horrible. I hate
can't
doing
do 'em.
abs
I don't like it either. But you have great abs.
because of my diet.
What do you eat?
I have a pretty strict diet. Eat every 4 hours, and it's like a certain amount of protein, fat, carbs. I mean, it's very boring.
Do you drink a lot of soda?
I drink no soda.
Oh,
How about diet soda?
I drink no.
What do you eat
I
to-
drink water and coffee.
Do you have
That's
little
it?
desserts?
Yeah, at the cellar, I always will get like cheesecake or like like ice cream or something.
Do you ever get the Entenmann's little mini donuts and you just eat them?
No.
Do you work out more than twice a week for an hour each time?
5 days a week.
Okay, how many hours a day?
About an hour to an hour and a half.
That's more different than my. I'll do 4 days when I'm in New York, but
That's really good.
Yeah,
When I was with Aziz, I had to find a new gym in every city. Every day I would, because you eat
Why
like
not the
shit
hotel?
on the road. Because the hotel's like a treadmill, and then that's it. Like a weight. They just have one weight, and it's like a purple weight that weighs 5 pounds from Wanda's Workout World in 1989.
That's usually enough for you, right, Jim?
Yeah, I like a good purple one. And I'll count and 1 and 2 and 3. No, I like to get on the road and I like to go to the gym and do stuff.
I go to Equinox, so I can, like, when I'm in Chicago this week, I'll use the Equinox there.
I've never gone to I'm in Equinox. I never used the fucking Equinox gym on the road. I probably should.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I get
And-
so lazy and fucking depressed on the road. It stinks.
well, that's why you got to force yourself out of the house. I mean,
You probably would be less depressed if you actually did that.
Maybe.
It'll help. I mean, it is hard to leave that fucking hotel room. I will sit and watch TV all day. I'll watch cooking videos. I'll watch Ghost Adventures. I'll do anything.
Well, Matteo, people can see you in Chicago. Maybe they'll find you at the gym.
Yes,
But-
the only tickets left in Chicago are going to be this Saturday at the Lincoln Lodge at the Late Show. But if you want to come see me at the Funny Bone in Albany, New York, I'll be there April 5th to the 7th with Evan Williams. I'm bringing him as my opener.
Amazing.
So see Matteo Lane. He is hilarious live.
MatteoLaneComedy.com for all the info. At Matteo Lane on Twitter. And also you can follow him on Instagram. See all kinds of naked photos. It's great. It's great stuff.
Well, if you like naked photos of other gentlemen.
I'm
mean, I think
complaining
he
about
looks-
Austin Wolf, and meanwhile my Instagram's worse.
Just naked.
I'm so sorry.
Just nudity. Thank you, Matteo. We've
Thanks,
got
guys.
Sean Evans coming in from Hot Ones. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back.
Thank you, Matteo.
He's so great. I love Matteo.
Let's bring in Sean Evans.
Of course, Sean Evans from First We Feast's Hot Ones on YouTube, but I don't even have to tell you that.
Yeah,
I
people
mean,
know
the
who he
show
is.
is so big at this point that
Oh, thank you.
it
How
goes
are you,
without
man?
saying.
Good to see you. man.
What's going on, Sean?
Chilling. How are you guys doing?
Good. Welcome to the show. It's amazing that did you ever have a desire? Because before you did Hot Ones, you were a reporter, like you were a journalist, and you were doing interviews and everything. But did you ever have a desire to be like a host type, where this is my show?
Yeah, I mean, I was a broadcast journalism major and grew up watching late night shows, Loveline, Howard Stern. So there was always a part of me that thought maybe I could do this if ever I got the opportunity. But then, as you guys know, it's hard to get those opportunities. It's not like you just apply for that job. But backed into it by kind of just taking advantage of every little assignment somebody gave me, and then it sort of ballooned into this thing. So in a lot of ways, like I have right now, everything I've kind of...
It's always nice to make something out of it.
Right. That makes you feel better because you realize a lot of people stress about getting opportunities. For you, it doesn't matter if you get them or not.
No, it doesn't matter. So when I don't get them, it's not. Look, this would have been done already anyway. It's 2 weeks. I would have already fucked this up in the pilot. So how many things had you done before this? Because this is like so successful. Were there other ones you did that just didn't work?
No. Well, it was usually just sort of straight Q&A interview stuff, just packaging these digital interviews just over and over and over again, doing stuff for print, whether it was like digital or magazines or whatever. But this definitely blew up. But it wasn't like this straight out the gate big hit. Like our first couple of seasons, it was really a struggle to get views, and sometimes I was like, wow, I'm really eating a lot of spicy stuff for
no reason.
For no reason at all.
And it's probably really difficult to get. I mean, now it's easy to get guests, I would imagine, because you're doing millions of views. But when you're not doing millions of views and you're just a guy, you do.
Yeah, you basically have to trick people. And early on, that was the thing. We would just show up if Complex is doing a cover shoot with an artist like Tinashe or something. We would just basically crash that shoot and then say that we have this add-on. We have this show where we eat chicken wings during the interview. Would you be interested? And then we were able to get a lot of people to just fall in that way by just going behind other people doing things and collecting those crumbs and then just sort of making this show work. And it is a lot easier to book now, but there is that caveat of having to eat scorching hot chicken wings, which does turn some people off.
It still stops some people?
Yeah, I mean, 50 Cent, for example, that's somebody who I think was made in a laboratory exactly for our show, and I can't get him to budge.
He doesn't want to do it, or is it the wings he doesn't want to do?
It's, whatever. It's muddy. You don't really know that situation. But like him, for example, but there's these white whales that we're always trying to catch. And even I think YouTube has a certain, whatever. If you're an established star, maybe even think of that. Oh, I'd rather do Fallon or Colbert or something. Even
it's like the podcast thing that people still are kind of attached to, not realizing that YouTube shows and podcasts are doing the same numbers, if not better.
Smoking some of those shows.
Yeah.
So, but I think that people are starting to understand that more and more. And then that has all happened as the show's blown up. So we've definitely benefited from that.
So you do like, what's the pepper that they said you ate that's like the hottest pepper?
The Carolina Reaper.
That's the hottest one?
Well, what's funny about these pepper guys is they're all like architects that are trying to make the tallest building, and they're highly competitive, and they're all over the world, and they're all engineering these crazy peppers. So the Carolina Reaper pepper was the hottest pepper forever, and then some farmer in Wales did like the Dragon's Breath chili, and then the guy who grew the Carolina Reaper, who also grows Pepper X, which we have in our 10th hottest sauce, he basically had this war chest, and he was waiting for somebody to like dunk on him so he can dunk on him back.
Oh, he was ready.
Yeah, he was ready for it. And maybe he is for generations and generations to come. Like, who knows what's in the war chest? But it's same with like all these guys. They're all like mad scientists.
Well, can this guy actually eat the peppers that he makes?
Yes, like a snack. Like it's canned.
Oh, he can,
He'll just pop it up like it's popcorn, catch it in his mouth.
How does science determine which one is the hottest pepper? Is it just reaction, or is there a way to actually tell?
So there is a Scoville scale, which is a measure of capsaicin per unit or something. So they can actually quantify it on a scale like you would voltage or whatever else. So
for those that don't know, I mean, Hot Ones obviously is Sean's show that's on YouTube, and it's Sean, and he sits down with a celebrity and they eat 10 chicken wings that are progressively hotter and hotter as, you do this like extremely well-researched interview, that people are struggling to get through because by the time they get to wing number 6 or 7, everybody is tearing up at the eyes and everything. You come from this world, like we said, of journalism and reporting. So the interview part was something that you were doing before you got here. But now, like Jim is asking you questions, you're kind of expected at this point to be an expert on hot wings, as if that's the passion. But you were not a hot wings guy before.
No, or even hot sauce. It's not like I had this ability to eat super spicy food and then was like, this needs to be a show. That was never the thing. We were just trying to solve for a problem. Like, celebrity interviews are boring. How do we make them not boring?
are solved for that. Hot sauce. But that has definitely happened, and we've seen the craft hot sauce thing explode because of the show in a lot of ways and going mainstream. And now I feel like every time you pass a fast food restaurant, you'll see some new spicy fries or spicy chicken thing. And so it's crazy. I always thought people would be more interested in the interviews and like what comes out of it. And people just want to talk about hot sauce and wings and take me out for wings all the time. That's just what's happening.
Has anyone thrown up doing it?
Yeah, we've run the gamuts. We've had people spit in buckets, half pass out, sleep in the green room afterwards.
Who slept in the green room?
Coolio slept in the green room afterwards. He might still be there. He might still be there.
I don't think that was the wings.
But it was funny because we used to do the show actually like a block away on 50th Street, and it was in the middle of an office. So you'd always have people responding to emails and stuff, and then Riff Raff in a peach suit would like throw his shoulder through the door, make a sprint for the bathroom, and I'd have people talk to me like, I came out of the stall and saw Riff Raff just dry heaving into the sink. So those are the stories that always...
it does make people sick.
Yeah.
What do they drink, milk?
Milk, water.
Well, that's like the lifeline, though, right?
Right. Ice cream. People, Tyra Banks brought ice cream. We've had Charlize Theron delivered white rice to the suite that we were shooting in. You know, everybody has an anecdote. Gordon Ramsay recently stopped by Bristol Farms before the interview, picked up lemon juice, lime juice, donuts, everything.
The Gordon Ramsay one was great because Gordon Ramsay was the first, and this is something that I think about when I'm watching the show, and I haven't seen every single episode, but I think Gordon Ramsay was one of the few that pointed out that the wing, he was complaining about the wing itself.
Right.
Like, not the sauce. He was like, there's no meat on this bone. This is an awful chicken wing, which is the most Gordon Ramsay thing he could do. You know?
Right. And we expected that. I had a lot of anxiety about it the night before, you know?
But is he one of the, was he before that one of those white whales?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, right when we put up the first episode, we had all the, in the comments, from episode 1 until we finally got him, the top comments would always be like, get Gordon Ramsay, get Gordon Ramsay, get Gordon Ramsay. And then that bled over into my real life. I'd just be walking the streets, I'd be in an airport, and people would be like, when's Gordon Ramsay? Hey, chicken wing guy, when's Gordon Ramsay going to be on the show? So I felt like there was an albatross around our neck forever. And then we finally got him, and I think that he understood the same pressure because he was getting the same stuff if he sent out a tweet, when he going on Hot Ones, whatever, and eventually the whole world pressured us into that room.
Well, you guys had to be happy with the way it came out. It did. I mean, I was looking at it last night. I think he did them all. He did them all, and it's done 30 million views.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really tough to say that it didn't succeed on every level, right?
It did, and you know, sometimes we know a hit. You know, it's like a singer that goes into the booth and knows when they have a hit. Sometimes we walk out of that room and we know that went well, and we knew there'd be ridiculous expectations for it. And we threw the kitchen sink at him, and he was such a good sport. When we walked out, we're like, that was really good internet.
How are the interviews too? Like, 'cause I know you like to do the interviews. So, like, do people tell you more? Because sometimes celebrities are fucking weird with giving up information. They don't want to talk. Oh, it was a fun project. Do you get more out of them because you're doing something else?
I think that you're trapped on the show, and then every person who does press, whatever, they do the rounds. As you guys know, there's this PR-driven flight pattern that everyone's kind of in. And I think that the wings are disruptive and stimulating, and then you're stuck on this show, and you're probably not thinking about your guardrails when you're eating some of the hottest chicken wings in the history of the world. But at the same time, I think that we're not even that kind of show. You know, like, we're not really trying to poke the bear all that much, because
it's not a clickbait show. Really,
right.
I mean, what's great about the show is that there's less pressure on you to get something newsworthy, because the headline is, watch this big celebrity eat these really hot wings.
Yeah. Right. And I think the secret of our success has been in combining those things, because you already have this ridiculous spectacle, super famous people eating scorching hot chicken wings on the internet, and then hopefully combining it with this career spanning, thoughtful interview. When those two things go together, I think that's why the show has lasted now 8+ seasons, 150 episodes.
How long in between each wing do people usually wait?
It varies person to person. That's what's kind of crazy too, because it's a revolving door of guests, and then everybody handles spicy food differently. If we all went out for curry after this, you know, Jim, you might get through it no problem. Sam, you might be sweating your face off. I might be puking in a garbage can next to me. So, you know, we have some guests come in and they're like, it just wasn't hot enough. And then some guests just be on like death's door. So it's a big range.
Did that pepper, when you ate that pepper, what did it do to you?
It was like giving myself food poisoning for 12 hours. It was insane. It was so stupid. And then I swore I'd never do it again. And then I did do it again with the same dude, Chili Klaus. But I remember that first time I did it, I was like, something is seriously wrong. I went to a cab, stopped at a CVS, just bought a whole gallon of milk. And then I went on my couch, cranked the AC, put on some basketball shorts, and I would just be dumping the milk in my mouth and then just holding it in there till it was hot. And then I'd spit it out and would just do that for hours.
So can it do anything really fucked up to you, or is it just unpleasant?
I can do something fucked up to you. I mean, sometimes I see these headlines because our fans always tag me in them. It's like, Wales man chokes on scorching hot pepper and scorches his lungs. You know, whatever. Like every bizarre. I'm just making that up, but every bizarre.
I'm so stupid.
Yeah, you really got lost in the story.
I'm 50. He could have said anything. Genitals fall off. Oh, terrible.
Spontaneously combust on hot peppers.
Troy, can you find that Wales man?
Out of my asshole.
I need to know more.
You got to have him on the show. So whatever. There are some things, but I went to a doctor recently because I was somewhat worried. It was one of these things where I didn't want to go to the doctor because I'm like, they're going to tell me I have 100 ulcers and that if I do one more show, I might die and then just take away my heat. You know, so I'm like, I'm going to strike while the iron's hot mode. I can't have a doctor doing that to me. So I guess I just avoided it forever. But finally, I was like, all right, I'm going to be a responsible adult. I'm going to go do this. They hooked me up to everything. I was like, every blood test, every scan, everything that you can do, you know, and they hooked me up. And then my doctor called me up. Totally clean bill of health. So my numbers are outstanding across the board. So maybe they're making me stronger, these wings.
Now, do you go out of your way to eat healthy outside of this because you need to maintain yourself so that you can do this?
Yeah.
So this is a lifestyle at this point.
It is. Yeah. And you have to think about that. And even the way the travel goes and whatever, I think you have to take care of yourself more. So people always think that I want to eat wings all the time. They want to take me out for wings. I'll go to this hot sauce expo and everyone's like, this is the devil's blood. You have to try it. Everybody thinks that I'm just trying to up the ante every time I turn a corner. But when I'm not working, it's a lot of juice. It's a lot of cereal. It's a lot of just taking it easy.
Yeah, I'm sure the last thing you want to eat is wings. That's all you eat. Who the fuck wants to eat them?
If I'm off the clock, I don't want to eat wings. Let the record show. I like to put that out in the world.
But people always, it's like me, they want to tell jokes to you. They're like, dude, try it. No, trust me. I know a hot wing.
Or, you know, comedians that'll bring a beer on stage or whatever, and then everyone wants to buy them shots.
Yeah.
It's like that. I have that existence.
Well, they're secretly hoping for a meltdown. That's why they buy the comic shots, because they're hoping that you get drunk and fuck up, and it's a great, you know, they're hoping for a Michael Richards set.
unless you're Bert Kreischer and you just say yes every time.
Every time.
Buy you drinks and then you go, okay, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah.
That's a good Bert.
It really is, right? Yeah, but that's when drinking is a part of your thing. I guess it just doesn't affect you. And if you get drunk, it's like, all right, well, that's just Bert's. That's Bert's thing.
That's Bert's thing.
Yeah. Who got sick the fastest, or who had the worst reaction to it?
Well, Eddie Wong famously started in reverse order to just subvert the form, and that was a mistake.
That's cocky.
That's cocky. Yeah, it is cocky. So he started at 10. So that was a crazy shoot because it was like we fired up the cameras, and usually it takes a while before people are like, ooh, and then you see the sort of step-by-step gradual evolution towards that. But Eddie started with the first one, so it was like we fired up the cameras, introduced him, then he's eating the hottest camera, and all of a sudden he's doing laps around the studio asking where the bathroom is, sweating his face off. You know?
Wow. So he thought he'd try to get it out of the way and then work your way into something a little easier.
Yeah.
I get
like building the tolerance.
Different. Yeah.
And it didn't work.
It did not work at all.
So what was the episode when you knew we are really onto something? This isn't just a hobby. This isn't just a side thing. Like, this is going to be big.
Right. Well, like I said in the beginning, you know, when it first started out, maybe we'd wake up, it would just have low view numbers. But the people who watched it liked it. That's how I knew if we get more people in the tent, this will be a big show.
We're onto
because
something, yeah.
we keep the same people week over week over week who are like, this is going to explode. This is the best show. So that really fueled us early on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first episode that we ever did where we woke up in the morning and it was 5 million views, #1 story, trending, blah, 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 was when we had Key and Peele in. And that was just something that worked, I guess. They were doing press for Keanu, I remember. We crashed the junket, shot with Key and Peele, put it out, and that was the first episode that just totally blew up and then helped us level up, and it's kind of just been a runaway train since then.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any, I'm not going to ask you for names, but do you have any, you said you know when it's like this is internet gold?
Yeah.
Do you have interviews that you've done and the whole thing's over and you've gone through all the wings and you're like, that was a dud? What are we going to do with this?
I mean, it's happened a couple times. Famously, if fans are thinking, like, if a fan was in here, they'd talk about the DJ Khaled episode where he only ate 2 or 3 wings and then bowed out, you know?
You're like,
bowed out, he didn't do the interview, or he left?
He stayed there, but he's like, I'm not eating any more wings. And
you're like, DJ Khaled, like the whole point is so you could do your catchphrases and eat very hot wings.
Right, and I knew
be
right
in your
away.
tracksuit.
I knew right away that it was going to go that way because when he came in, he's holed up in the studio and he was just crushing slices of pizza. So I'm like, why is this guy eating pizza before we're about to eat 10
Yeah, why? Is he trying to coat his stomach?
I don't know what the move was. I don't know if it was a strategy or if he was hungry or what.
Just wanted some pizza.
But then he bowed out. But to me, I really like that episode because it's such an outlier and it's so strange from a viewing experience perspective than like every other episode. So
I mean, it does say a lot about
like it, but
it
I
says a
love
lot
it.
about DJ Khaled because most people try to come on and impress you and impress the audience and want to be the ones that go far. DJ Khaled is so impressed with himself.
He was like,
that
fuck all that.
Yeah, he just doesn't see the need.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Which I almost respect. Which I almost respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to eat the whole wing or just part of it?
It varies,
Are you strategizing?
I'm just curious.
How you handle
For
something
us,
like this?
Yeah, we're not like the Olympics. I think that if we started putting strict rules on it and hitting people with like the house rules and then introducing them, and it would get like competitive and weird.
Sure.
And then like who's the referee that's like, that's not enough of the wing to qualify.
Yeah.
So for us, and people are all different. Some people, we've had guests that are 70 years old and stuff. Like, I wouldn't even feel good about them crushing.
Who have you had on those 70?
Jeff Goldblum, Al
Jeff
Roker.
Goldblum is...
That's depressing.
Jeff Goldblum is a young 70, though.
He is
That's
a young
crazy
70.
that
He's a
Jeff
spry
Goldblum is 70.
Yeah. Looks
Wow.
great for
He's
70.
a fascinating guy.
Sharp, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for us, whatever. If you take a bite, you take a bite. If you clean the wing, the audience seems to respect that more. And
Yeah,
some people
I
understand
do.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do like the people who come in who don't know anything about the show and are just like, I'm going to crush all these chicken wings. I'm cleaning them all because they're taking it as a real challenge.
Uh-huh.
But if somebody comes in and they aren't like that and they're just giving the interview, biting and still struggling, if you just take a bite out of that hot sauce, you'll really feel it. So to us, it's not that important how much of the wing
You don't care. It's more the reaction and if they're trying to do it.
Right. I think that if somebody nibbles and they're like, I'm cool, I'm chill, this is fine, blah, 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 it's not even hot, then that to me is kind of lame. But if they're at least trying, I'm cool with it.
What's an acceptable, you said after 3 is no good. What's an acceptable amount to get through where you're like, all right, this is a good interview, even if he can't do anymore?
To me, it varies person to person. So I think that if you commit and you try and you're into it, if you bow out at 6 or 7 or 8, we had Lil Yachty on the show and he'd never had hot sauce before in his entire life. That's what he said in the intro. And he's like, I want to be here today because I've never had hot sauce in my life and this is how I want to do it, which I think like one of our commenters compared to trying to learn how to swim at Niagara Falls. And so he went in and he actually made it to 8, which is further than most people who bow out in the show do. So to me, that was an awesome performance by Lil Yachty. You can't, you can't mark him down on
Probably
that.
burns your lips. That fucking burn you get on your lips when you eat hot sauce. Oh.
And imagine experiencing that for the first time on a show under camera lights in front of a crew,
with the hottest of hot wings,
the
right?
hottest chicken wings in the world.
Now, when Lil Xan went to the hospital and said it was for flaming Cheetos, did you hear that story?
I did hear
he was
that
eating all
story.
the flaming
Definitely got
Cheetos,
tagged in that,
and
yeah.
he went to the hospital. Are you going like, this is not good for business? If people are going to the hospital for eating flaming Cheetos, what is this going to mean for wings?
I immediately was like, this story's fake. Nobody goes to the hospital for flaming hot Cheetos, and I think it's semi-soft. Right? A bag of flaming hot Cheetos.
Not a big deal.
I don't care where you're at. If that sends you to the hospital, that's on you, I feel like.
Yeah, you just felt unpleasant and panicked. That's what that is.
You think that's what that was?
Yeah. Yeah, a little tummy ache and you're like, get a doctor.
Plus, your name's Lil Xan.
Right.
So, what? Xanax, cool, but
Flaming Hot Cheetos?
Flaming Hot Cheetos, that's what puts you in the hospital?
Part of me feels like he did not go to the hospital and Flaming Hot Cheetos decided to pay for a story to break and everybody went with it.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Oh, you think that was a thing by the company?
Yeah, that was a windowless room filled with cigar smoke, Illuminati situation.
Yeah. Who's been the most competitive on the show? Like, who comes in and you're like, you need to relax because it's just me and you here. You don't need to be like this.
Well, athletes all have the same mentality. Every time we have an athlete on, they always have that. Even
Play to
we
win.
had, I think next week's episode is Jimmy Butler, and even when he took the milk, he's like, "How much milk do I drink?" They're very serious about.
They don't want to break the rules.
Yeah, they're very serious about the rules, and then even you see it in their face. They're like, 4 more. It's like they're doing they're in the weight room. It's like they're like, one more set.
There's a
one more
goal.
set.
There's a way to achieve the goal. There's a way to pace yourself.
And there's mentally a way to hack that, I guess, for them.
Yeah, I'm not competitive. Like, I just give up quickly.
You
like,
would
in,
if it got-
in man-to-man competition, you know what I mean? If I see the guy and he's bigger than me, I'm like, congrats.
I understand that.
You got this. So if you're sitting there, you would be the DJ Khaled of this. If you're like, you know what, this isn't as pleasant as I
how
thought.
would you
nah.
approach it?
I would. I don't know. I mean, I would try to do more than 3, but I don't know. I mean, I would
maybe not.
No, and if I just puked, I puked. But I mean, I would prefer not to puke.
Right. You
But
think
would
you'd
you
puke?
go
It might
full
happen.
throttle?
Really?
I don't know.
Are you not good with spicy food?
I don't know. I don't know if I am or not. I know I got a very sensitive stomach. I'm very bad on planes. I get motion sick. I won't eat sushi before I fly because I'm afraid of getting queasy. I
In
hate
the
being
same
queasy.
way, in the same way that athletes are competitive, comedians are neurotic.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
That's what I've noticed with the wings.
Now, would you try to do, Jim and I, we won't spoil it for anybody. We filmed a certain television show that takes place in a bar that needs help recently, and we did have to work around the fact that Jim doesn't drink. So we had to figure something out.
We told them when we arrived. By the way, we're doing a bar show. I don't drink alcohol.
We didn't tell him.
I think I gets on the headset. Fucking pussy.
We didn't tell him in advance, no. But would you try to say, like, look, I'm kind of on a health kick right now. I don't really eat wings. Is there something else?
No, yeah, just
maybe do like a deep fried cauliflower.
Celery on the spices. No, you got to do it to show it, but I don't know how many. I don't know. My stomach can be at times very tricky.
It can.
It can. Yeah.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, dude, right on the bowl.
But would you go full throttle? Would you push yourself?
Yeah, I
to
would
that
try.
limit?
Of course, I don't know how many I could do, but I would try. I wouldn't want to be lame.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to be. But I'm not an athlete either. I say to the surprise of no one. There's no reason to say that, but I wouldn't be able to regiment it. Like, I'm going to do 6. I'm going to do 8.
Right.
Those guys have the ability to push themselves beyond where I do. That's why they're athletes.
As successful as the show is, do you get are there any points where you get worried, like, oh my God, like all they need to do is just get some guy who can ask questions and eat hot wings. They're going to replace me. Or do you realize, the fans watch the show because I'm the host of the show? Like, do you have that confidence, or are you like many of us that go, I'm very replaceable and they're going to figure this out soon?
It's a little bit of both, where I think that anybody that's doing something in entertainment, you always feel like you're going to lose it and never get it back. But I also think this is my baby. I'm obsessed with the show and have been since the beginning. And
I mean, that's pretty clear when you look at how it's like branded and how kind of big and beyond just a YouTube show it's gotten.
Yeah. And I think that, whatever, if somebody wants to eat these scorching hot chicken wings and commit to the show like I do and then make it a better show, then I would just tip my cap to that. But I don't think it would happen.
You'd pull a Jim Norton and bow out.
I'd hand over the reins. But to me, whatever, I've had such a freakish drive with this show, and I've been with it since the beginning, and I know it, and I know the audience, and the way that I spend almost like every waking hour, whether it's travel, whether it's research, whether it's doing the show or in post, the way that I just helicopter parent this show and the way that I've committed to it, and I do have confidence in myself as a host and interviewer. I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think anybody would make it a better show, honestly.
What are you a fan of? Because you have athletes, musicians, actors, wrestlers, comedians. They've all done it, and every interview is heavily researched, like we just said, and none of it comes across like you're not informed about the person that's on and what it is that they do. But what kind of those categories is, okay, we're in my wheelhouse. This is going to be, this is a layup.
Well, I think that part of what's made the show work is that I have a hobby with walking a mile in someone else's shoes. So to me, the process is a hobby, and the hobby, it's both ways, where I like, if we're going to interview someone and I know a week in advance, I like that. I'll listen to their album. I'll read their book. I'll watch their shows. I'll listen to their stand up. I'll do whatever and totally immerse myself in that world for as much time as I have before the interview. And I actually enjoy that. I would do that for free, and did do the show for free for a long time. But so to me, that is whatever. I'm into the process. I like hanging out by pools when I'm in LA. I like going out. I like hanging out with my friends. I watch a lot of college football, hype for the tournament. I have those sorts of interests and hobbies, but to me, I just do love the process of the show. And then just being intellectually curious has made the show I think that's what's made the interviews so authentic in that regard.
What made you want to do journalism at all?
I think about this sometimes, but I just started out by listening to the radio. So even when I was in junior high, I'd have tapes of Howard Stern. I'd listen to Loveline constantly. Every night I'd go home. I'd leave parties to go listen to Loveline. And I think part of me just wanted a radio show or wanted to be like those guys. My dad, he'd watch Letterman every night. When my mom was out on work trips or whatever, I could stay up late and watch Letterman with my dad, and he would explain the jokes to me every time the audience laughed. So I think that there was all of that combined with, that nature nurture mix, and I think that's why I pursued it. I wanted to do broadcast journalism because I wanted to make videos on campus and have it go towards my degree, and then took off from there.
What did your parents do?
My mom was a paralegal. My dad's a judge.
So,
oh, wow.
Wow. So when this show starts, obviously it's not the thing from the beginning, but when this starts to become the thing, how long did it take these people who have these high esteemed professions to process the fact that the majority of their son's income is going to be coming in from the Hot Wings show?
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing because my dad doesn't watch YouTube. So to say I'm moving to New York to be on YouTube.
Right, because your dad's sitting there watching Letterman. You're like, I'm going to have my own show. He's saying, what channel is it on? And you're saying...
The internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the computer. Watch it on your phone, Dad.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. The thing that anybody can have a show on, I'm going to have a big show on that
I'm going to have a show.
Yeah.
And then, so he was it was a bit of a head scratcher maybe, but he was super supportive. And I think once we started getting people on that he knew, like Ricky Gervais, for example, then he was like, oh, this is kind of cool and this is awesome. And then, when I was on Colbert, because he was such a Letterman fan, to be in the Ed Sullivan Theater and have Colbert spitting milk on the stage at the Ed Sullivan Theater, I think that was validating for me and him.
And how crazy is that to not only, it's validating enough to be invited to be on Colbert's show, but he wants to do your bit on his show.
Yeah,
we've created a monster here.
I think of it as ludicrous. It's completely ridiculous. This dumb idea that we had to see it grow the way it has, and that was such a milestone for us. And then I remember just the way they have a food artist displaying the wings and how it's so. Those shows are really like a Swiss Army night. The way that everybody's working together. It looks great. It's like a kitchen in a 3-star Michelin restaurant or something, the way that everybody's moving around. So even when they were laying out that table, the way that the band was playing when you walk by, and then we just walk to this table and eat scorching hot chicken wings on CBS. It was ridiculous. It's insane.
Is your father like a no-nonsense guy?
No, he's got a good sense of humor. And I think when you're a judge, I think it makes you, because people are always like, oh, could you never get away with a lie, blah, blah, blah. But I got away with a million things, sneak out of the house, whatever, all the time. Because I think maybe when that's your 9 to 5, maybe you kind of want to just go home and get your ass kicked by your kids and stuff. You don't want to be regulating all the time.
When you were a kid, are you not worried about getting arrested because your dad's a judge?
Well, I think that I was just good at avoiding that detection. I think I was, I'm moving in the shadows or whatever. But the funny thing is that friends would call me all the time. When they got scooped up with something, or they'd be calling the house and be like, hey, can you ask your dad, but kind of not say it's me, in these roundabout drinking tickets, caught with weed or whatever. They'd always call my house to ask for legal advice.
Would he help?
Yeah, he'd kind of be like, just casually. Yeah.
If he knew the guy?
Yeah.
Did you ever want to do law?
No, never. And my parents didn't seem to want me to either.
How come?
I don't know.
They just realized that it was hard work and probably isn't going to pay off, so skip it.
They never pushed in any direction that way. They were just they were chill about it.
I wanted to be a lawyer. A comedy first, but then I was like, that's never going to happen. So in high school, I kind of wanted to be a lawyer. After Injustice for All, watching Al Pacino, I'm like, that's a great job.
But what's ironic? You graduating from law school probably has less of a chance of happening than having a career in stand-up.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, that was pointed out to me quickly when I dropped out of high school. You know how it is, rehab.
Yeah, my parents, they were, you want to think it's supportive, but I know, I looked on their face when I got into Syracuse, the shock that was on the face of both of them, and they're, well, yeah, you gotta go, let's go. They realized Syracuse is going to figure out that they made a horrible mistake here.
It's clerical error.
Why would you get into this school?
Yeah,
they sent me away. So it was probably the same thing. They were like, yeah, this law school thing, it's not for you.
Yeah, or not. You don't need to.
Right.
So what did you do in journalism? Besides, I know you wrote for was a travel.
Yeah, so that was my job after I left, after I graduated college. I ended up working at this agency that it's not super interesting, but like out of market advertising for destinations. And I was in Chicago. So I worked for the Chicago tourism agency where we do, if you ever go on a subway and you'll see like visit Montana or whatever, and there's like a picture of a buffalo or something, we would do that, but for Chicago. So I was doing that, but then on nights and weekends and basically all my free time, I was just doing freelance articles, like just keeping my eye of the tiger, interviewing like local chefs or athletes, whatever. If somebody wanted to do a Derrick Rose feature or whatever, I might be like the local guy who would do that. So I was just doing that. Ended up doing some stuff in New Orleans for All-Star Weekend where we had all these cool interviews lined up, and it was right when Complex launched their YouTube channel. So they were like, hey, can we just send cameras because we need to start uploading videos, so can we put these interviews on camera? And I didn't have any big dreams or anything. I was like, yeah, that would be the coolest thing ever to just have a 2 Chainz interview on YouTube. I thought I'd peak there, and that would be the coolest thing that I did. And then they liked him enough.
Cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
And then they liked him enough to offer me a full-time job, so I sold all my shit. I quit my job, left Chicago, I was in New York 30 days later, and that was almost like 5 years ago to the day.
So when you're writing copy, you're a copy editor for these travel. Well, you have to get people interested in like one quick shot, right? You have to write. So what do you write for Chicago that makes people go, "Fuck, I want to go there"?
Well, the key is to just go to Millennium Park, take a picture of that bean thing, and then just be like, "You're home now" or something, and then just put that in an airplane magazine, and then you're good to go.
So, and you did some that they rejected, where they were like, "That's a terrible. No one's going to come here because of that."
Yeah, but what we used to do, I think, is
Chicago. They rioted. No,
that's not going to help us at all.
I'd make whatever we do. Basically, what you do is you do like 10 different versions of the same thing, and then throw them up there, and then have somebody pick one. And then you feel like you have your bases covered.
Okay, so you've done a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I would just show the Willis Tower. I mean, the Sears Tower. That's just kind of what I like about you.
Look how tall this is.
Yeah, fucking high, right?
Yeah.
I love
go to
those.
the top.
Did you ever go to those those glass things where you look down?
I can't do that. One of my earliest memories is going to the top of the Sears Tower, back when it was called the Sears Tower, and taking that view in. I do remember that, and I must have been like 3 or 4 years old at the time. But I never went in any of those boxes. I don't think I have the stomach for that. Stomach for hot wings, not for that.
I thought it would be fine. I went out because it's a glass box. Like little kids go in there. Everybody does. And it wasn't until the minute you were there. It wasn't until the minute that I stepped in, and I like collapsed. Like I could not.
Your knees started shaking.
Everything.
Your stomach dropped.
Everything. I had to hold on to everything around me.
But you did step out.
Yeah. I did really quickly and then right back in. It was really embarrassing.
You realize how much it would suck to fall that far. Dude, I read something about a guy who jumped off the stairs.
I had actually figured that earlier, that if I were to fall
but when
from
you're
the top,
seeing
it would suck.
when you're seeing it, it's like I had read something where a guy had jumped off one time, and Chicago was so windy, and it took him like 12 seconds to fall because the wind was so horrible.
Just try to think about something else on your way down.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of as I was sitting there looking down.
That it would take like 12 seconds. That's crazy.
I love Chicago. It's such a great place. I know I'm talking about suicide. You have a fun show.
Did you have you had anybody that's done the show, maybe even early on, that kind of complained about it after? Like, I didn't want to do it. Why?
It's actually surprisingly, shockingly, usually a very positive experience. More so than anything else I've worked on.
Mm-hmm.
I think people think celebrities might be, they're too whatever. They're going to turn their nose up, but I think most of them are just normal people that are like, I'm killing these wings. They'll push their team back a little bit sometimes. And like, do you need water? And they're like, no, I'm in it. I got it. So even afterwards, and what's crazy is it becomes this weird clubhouse where now even I'll still be in contact with people that have done the show. A lot of people, actually. So I think you end up building it it's like a buddy cop movie every episode.
Isn't it amazing what you have to go through to get to certain people? Like, entourages are very funny to me. Like, you travel with 1 or 2 people. Some people literally walk around with 7, 9 people.
Yeah.
Makeup people, the trainer. And there's so many people to get through to get to that one person. And then when you're sitting with them, they're just like, let's do it.
Right.
They're usually easier to deal with.
That's what I find, too. Even when we're trying to pitch people or whatever, sometimes I'll talk to somebody like, we've been been trying to get you in here forever. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? I've been wanting to do this show. And you just realize there's gatekeepers that hold it up.
Crazy?
It is crazy.
I mean, you want to think, and it never happens, but I feel like if I found out something like that, where a person was like, I've been trying to do this forever, and I go, I have no idea, I'd be furious at the gatekeeper, right? Like, I at least want to be able, if it's a no, let me say no.
I always think that about publicists. I feel like that's like the most worthless job.
Yeah.
In this place. Because if anything, the bad ones are automatic vibe killers.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm going to pop on a publicist in this calendar year. I'm saying that right now.
Yeah, they can be very difficult because there's a time where it's not reasonable what they're saying. Like, no, we just want to do that, and they're speaking for the artist, but it's like, I know you're not representing that person right.
They don't know we're even having this conversation.
Yeah. And you'll be like, I host this show, trust me, I know what people want to hear, what they want to know, and it's not anyone's goal to make anybody look bad.
Isn't that weird when like a publicist won't realize, no, the way this is going to work is when we all look good, and I'm going to make them look good. That's the whole reason they're here.
And it's all based on chemistry, whatever. This is like the first time that we're meeting today, and we have to create this fire between us, this chemistry between us. And then when somebody comes in and just messes up the vibe, it even messes with that. So I'm like, if you would have just stayed home, this would have been so much better.
Yeah, because they interfere when they necessarily should. What do they do to you? They start telling you, like, he doesn't want to talk about this, or she doesn't want to talk about that, or don't mention the divorce, or whatever it is.
We don't, whatever. If somebody
also, he doesn't like wings.
Yeah, he has a sensitive stomach. Could you just interview him and then send him home? No.
Yeah, I think that with us, the guardrail thing usually isn't a major issue. And usually if it's something about family or relationship or whatever, you should just respect it if you're going to have your guests in anyway. But the things that I'm thinking about is early on, especially, I remember one person came in and they were like, this isn't a phoner, what blah, 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 like that. Big star, and they didn't even know they were going to be eating chicken wings that day.
They thought it was a phoner?
Yeah, they thought it was a phoner.
Fucking asshole.
And we do our due diligence because we always want people to know what the deal is. You're eating scorching hot chicken wings.
Because otherwise you're going to set the whole thing up. They're going to show up. This isn't what I thought it was. I'm leaving.
And then they dip, right?
Yeah, and you're screwed.
Have you had anybody dip? I just used your term. I've never said dip before.
You sounded really cool
what
and
a
young.
shitty chameleon I am.
But then, and then too, she's walking in with Hot Ones too. We do this career spanning interview where the plugs up front, the plugs in the back. So we have it set up to where we have a lot of space to play, and you'll always know that you'll hit your talking point, and we deliver this big, long 25-minute interview to the world without commercials, and everybody's happy. So. But I remember she's walking around. She's like, "Why isn't he talking about the movie? What is that?" Like that. And I could hear her, and like, you know what I mean? It's just messing everything.
It doesn't work that way.
Thank God for that room right there, and Travis in there being our gatekeeper, because he tells us, and it's happened multiple times. We're having a conversation like this, right, where we're not necessarily talking about the project. But within the conversation, our audience is becoming interested in you, and we're gonna mention why we're all here. But the publicist will be in there talking to Travis and going, they're not talking about the project. Are they going to bring up the project? They haven't mentioned the... Yeah.
Right. It's like, you stupid asshole. What do you think? Everyone wants to hear an actor go, yeah, the director was fun? Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Right. 15 more minutes of that,
They're
please.
not talking about the children's
Talking about the
book.
pranks you pulled on set. Fucking dickhead. The publicists are the worst.
It is the worst. The worst.
Because they don't understand that, like, if people are interested in you, they'll be much more interested in what you're talking about and what you're selling because they like you.
Yeah.
And part of you being interesting is just having a conversation or whatever it is.
100%.
And the bad publicist really... A good publicist stays out of the way. A bad publicist...
Or sees the vision. Some of them are good. I'll say that. Some of them are good.
Sure.
Maybe they'll see the vision and understand that and know that and support that, and then some of them don't.
I've had this in the middle of an interview. Where they'll walk up and they'll go like... And they put the paper down. And it's like, what the fuck are you... Would you do that if he was on Conan?
Right.
Would you walk out?
Right.
Yeah. But good publicists know that most publicists are bad. So, like, they'll hear this conversation, and a good publicist will be right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
By the way, you brought me a gift. Thank you.
What's the
I
gift?
did.
I don't know. I didn't know.
I brought you
Open
some
it.
T-shirts. I brought you some hot sauce.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's very exciting. Yeah.
I'll try it.
Just take a swig.
No, I can't now. 'Cause I have to fly. I'm not doing it before a plane.
Smart.
Yeah. It will actually get sick.
Yeah, and nobody wants to be on a plane with those kinds of issues.
You're already bad enough with your gut health on a plane.
I know. As soon as we're
Hot
done with this
sauce
interview, I am
farts.
going to shit for 20 minutes. I'm going to run upstairs and shit like an animal.
Is there anybody that you've had on, or maybe even haven't had on, but interacted with, where they will come up to you at this point and go like, they're not that they're just saying I'm a huge fan of the show, but you can tell they actually are. Like they're citing references. They're talking about favorite episodes where you're going, holy shit, you're a fan of the show?
Yeah, that happens all the time. And when it started to take off, I'll always know, because sometimes people walk in and I'm like, hi, I'm introduced. And people are like, I know who you are. I've seen every episode. Like T-Pain came in and he's like, episode 61, because he's like seen every episode. It's funny that you brought up Bert earlier, because Bert was our first real famous fan who was tweeting out every episode. And
Bert's like so great because no matter how famous he gets, he's a
fanboy.
He's a fanboy. Before he's a comedian, before he's a famous guy, before he's a fanboy.
Exactly.
And it's the best.
Right. So then we've had that whole thing. I'm trying to think of other Tom Segura.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to keep a relationship with him going after this, and kind of a person I'd go to if I needed advice on something. So that's all been so awesome.
It's amazing that you start to create networks, right?
And it's crazy how the network just sort of like, I feel like it was just all underwater, and then it just starts to float, and then you just see how it's all connected.
You're just here now.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want 50 Cent is a guy you really want. Who else is somebody that you're dying to get on?
Well, the fans, I feel like they've gone from Gordon Ramsay, and then once we cross that off the list, have now brought out other names, so I feel like I'm always just chasing my own tail, trying to satisfy the audience. Right now, big names are Elon Musk or The Rock, or so those names that pop up all the time. I'm
bet The Rock.
The Rock, you might get the
I bet
Elon
The Rock
Musk
would
after
do
that
it.
pot smoking thing on Rogan. I don't see him doing anything else risky. But
I don't see Elon Musk doing a whole bunch of YouTube shows anytime soon.
I think
Especially if you were like, we like to smoke weed when we eat wings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too. What's this? Like a marijuana cigarette? Yeah.
But I bet
Elon.
he would take the joint, though. I bet he would still take the joint.
He still would. He wants to be cool. He does. But I wouldn't be shocked to see The Rock pop up on that show.
One time, because we've been pursuing him forever, one time I got a note that was like, would Sean be open to eating grilled salmon strips? And I was like, we're close, because that had to come out of his mouth.
Yes.
So I feel like we've been close.
Well, would you do it?
Yeah.
For The Rock?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody comes on and they're vegetarian or whatever, we'll get vegan wings or.
You've done that before.
Yeah, so we'll meet people halfway on whatever dietary thing they have. It's really about the sauce, so the vessel isn't that totally important.
Grilled salmon strips will be just as hot as chicken wings.
Yeah, grilled salmon strips soaked in hot sauce just as much, and then I guess you do that for The Rock.
But for The Rock,
I would say,
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with The Rock's fucking Instagram.
It's the best.
Dude, every Sunday he has a cheat meal and sushi. That's my goal in life. I want to eat sushi
You
with
see
The
the
Rock.
squats he was doing yesterday on Instagram?
No.
Oh my God.
Ew.
What do you mean?
Just the way you said it. Wasn't that kind of homoerotic?
It wasn't homoerotic.
I was talking about his sushi.
squats.
Do you see his calves? No.
Well, sorry that I'm not watching his food porn. Oh, look at the meals he gets to have. Look at his cheat meals.
I want to have sushi with The Rock.
Well, I want to do squats with The Rock. There's nothing wrong with
doing
doing
squats over The Rock.
First of all, The Rock would be doing squats over
bet
me.
he would.
Yeah,
That's how that would go.
No, he had like a ton of weight on him and chains hanging down and everything. His calves were. I mean, look, whatever. You obviously prefer the sushi pics.
Would you go to him? Would you go to the Iron Paradise and do it if you wanted to?
What's the Iron Paradise?
Oh, we should know if you're a fucking fan of The Rock.
Whoa!
Why are you being so hostile?
Do you know what the Iron Paradise is?
I do not.
That's his portable gym. That's where he works out all the time.
Is that where he brings it on set and everything?
So like on the movie lot, he just dropped the Paradise on?
They have that. I'm sure they build it for him wherever he goes. He has to have a gym, and he can't just go to the gym. He's The Rock, and probably he has very limited time to travel.
Yeah, I would say if Matteo Lane can't go to hotel gyms, The Rock probably has issues.
He may have a play at 4 a.m. before he shoots, or 11 at night when he's done. Who knows? Whatever his schedule is, but he doesn't want to have to worry about that. He wants to just walk in, work out, and go.
Yep.
Yeah. You're just sucking up to The Rock because he watches comedy Netflix specials on his Instagram.
I know he does, but the bottom line is I want to eat dinner with him. I've never met him. We've talked, but I've never met him.
He is. It infuriates me, but he's a Jim Norton fan.
Well, maybe we'll eat together one day.
Well, listen, if anybody hasn't checked out Hot Ones yet, I mean, I'm sure that you're aware of it. If not, it's on YouTube. First We Feast is the channel. But just look up Hot Ones. What is Shaq the newest one?
Shaq is the newest one, and then we have Theo Von coming out on Thursday.
Theo's great.
Theo's great.
Yeah, it's a really good episode, so we're hyped for that one.
And then do you announce in advance any other guests for the season?
Well, it's just fans are kind of suffocating, so if they know a guest is coming down the line, then they'll just spam the current interview with like, where is Theo? Where is this? Where is that?
I see.
But we got Theo Von, Jimmy Butler, and then 2 more episodes in this season, and then we'll start right back up again.
How long do you take a break between seasons?
Like 20 minutes. I mean, like maybe 10 days.
Feed the beast, right?
It's been so crazy. I mean, we started this show a little over 3 years ago. Now we're 8 seasons, 150. Like, we're nailing every Thursday at 11 a.m. for basically 3-4 years.
And you
straight.
love doing it, though, so it's not like work. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get a little bit, it starts to weigh on, a little bit because of all the travel. And then sometimes the way the show works, maybe we have a big bank where we've done a lot of interviews and banked them. Maybe sometimes we got to catch up. So then you just start stacking them all in a week, traveling all over the place.
Do people give you shit suggestions? Like, do you know what to get? You want to get the Queen. Get the Queen if you want to do it.
I have a hard time even looking at my Twitter, but yeah, obviously the Queen are just ludicrous requests all day, every day.
Are you going to do a wings restaurant? I mean, that's the move, right?
That is the move. I think.
A chain of wing restaurants. That's
aspirational.
Yeah, I would say Hot Ones, whatever, like fast food wings.
Let's partner.
That's it. So layup. I got all the connections, no problem. I go to Chipotle at least twice a week, so it should be fine.
Okay, cool.
I know what I'm doing.
Fast casual, yeah,
fast casual. That is the term. Did you see NBC had this? I can't believe you just said fast casual. NBC had this reality show that lasted 1 season.
I love where you're going with this.
Did you? Travis and I, up to this point, I believe we're the only 2 that watched it.
3.
Yes, it was America's Next Great Restaurant or whatever
All
it was
these guys
called.
trying to make a restaurant, and they had the Chipotle guy. And then what he would always say, whenever he made the rounds, because they're giving feedback, the judges giving feedback, he'd always be like, have you tried a fast casual? All he knew was Chipotle.
Yes.
So all of his advice would be Chipotle related.
Of course
he would just be like, have you tried serving this as a taco? Or he would just, everything was, his only point of reference to everything is just what he'd done with Chipotle, and he was so just laser focused. That was just what he knew.
Why didn't this show work?
I mean, I loved it. They lasted the whole season.
I thought it was a good show.
I think that the final 2, I mean, I remember Soul Daddy was the one that won.
And I think that the restaurant lasted like 20 seconds.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They opened it down at the pier. They opened
Chelsea
one.
Pier?
Yeah, Chelsea Pier here in New York. Yeah, it did. It lasted no time at all. Nobody was
one
interested.
lunch service, and then it was folded. Yeah.
It's you'd think on a show like that, like if it were a big show on Shark Tank, for example, even the businesses that fail succeed.
Right.
Like they don't get a deal, but the show is so big that they still succeed as a business. But not one restaurant from that show succeeded. Joey's Balls or whatever the meatball place was called.
Joey's Balls, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, that was the kiss of death being on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could find that show online or on DVD or
It was
something.
a classic.
It was
I did
so
watch
good.
every episode. It was good.
All right, there's 3 of us, Travis. Doesn't that make you feel good?
It does.
Hey, is this true what Nick is saying in New York?
Let's
before we go?
find out. Nick in New York, what's going on?
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on. Sean, I've heard that hot black coffee cuts heat better than milk. Have you ever heard that or tried that?
I've never heard that. People always hit me with anecdotes all the time. On paper, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure that's true. And then if they put it through, whatever, scientists, I bet that's true on some level. But if I'm eating a scorching hot death wing, I'm not reaching
for the coffee.
Hot coffee. Maybe the acidity does something. Does it have to be hot, Nick?
That's what I had heard. The hotter, the better.
I'll give it a shot. I'm going to give this a shot, and I will report back to you, sir. But even like water, they always say water doesn't work, but psychologically, there's something about ice water that I feel like helps me.
And maybe they're just fucking with the person. Like, I got wings. I have hot coffee. Just to be dicks.
Pour it all over yourself.
Yeah. Seriously, if I throw it in my face, trust me, it helps.
This will be good. This will be good. My God. Well,
thank you, man.
Thank you, Sean. It was good to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys, too. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that we're going to try something in the fast casual area.
You tried a fast casual dining experience.
And everybody watch Hot Ones if you're not already. We'll see y'all. Thanks.